San Diego, let's get to it. No fluff, no filters, just San Diego sports the way it's supposed to be.
When one asset of your game is not performing at a high level, you need the other portions of your game to step up and overcome those things.
The takes hit different here.
You know, everybody's all worried about the Padres not hitting home runs. The Padres don't need to hit home runs to win games. The home runs are going to come. It's finding different ways to win.
This is the Braden Surprenant Show.
Well, what's up, San Diego? And a good morning to everybody out there at America's finest city. He's Frank Marchese. I'm Braden Surprenant. This is the Braden Surprenant Show, live and local each and every day from 10 to 2 on San Diego's number one sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Filling in for Bennett Woods this morning, early on at 6 a.m. in the morning. And the boys traveling back from Chicago. Well, I wonder how that flight's going to be for the boys. Padres flew back from Chicago yesterday. I saw my roommate, one of the people that is a client at his gym that he works at sent him, and she knows like Tony too, like she's good friends with Tony. So she was out there on the trip with her family, you know, and her kids and everything like that are after this. I got a video shown to me of like the Padre fans and like the kids waiting for the Padres after like yesterday's games. They head to the bus. You know what? I mean, I have to say this. Good on Fernando for acknowledging them and being like, "Oh, hey, how you doing?" Like, you know, like being cool to the kids. I tell you right now, I have never seen Manny Machado more PO'd in my life walking around. I mean, like,
it's hard not to be after yesterday.
That was the worst loss in franchise history, was it not? Isn't that what they said?
Most lopsided loss.
Most lopsided loss. What makes it what would make it a worse loss? I mean, seriously. I mean, is there anything worse than a most lopsided loss? That's the most runs that they have given up since like 1977 or something like that, when they gave up, I think, 23 to the Chicago Cubs. I mean, I asked the question the other day. I just like, what do you now? What do you do? Like, what do you do? Seriously, I don't even know what you do. But as we fill in on this show. Okay, we have a long first segment on this show. This is what Ben and Woods usually do. I think we should like kind of ease into it a little bit. But before we start really breaking down yesterday's game, and I give you my thoughts on where this team is at right now, the direction they're going in, decisions that they can make coming up, because obviously everybody, you know, we heard Sammy complain about it. He complains about the trade deadline talk. You're going to be talking about it regardless. And now everybody's just going to be like, sell everybody, cut everybody. Everybody's fired. There's going to be a lot of decisions that need to be made on this team. Like, what do you do now? Because even if you start breaking it down, you start going through the list of, all right, let's see if we could do. Because I saw. You know, I just think people don't really understand the carrot they're dangling when it comes to you have to sell. I don't think they understand what the Padres would be like in the next 5 or 6 years. Seriously. I saw somebody, Frank, well, I know you saw some comments yesterday that you wanted to address, but I saw somebody yesterday go like, just start tear this thing up and redo it. It won't take that long, Frank. It won't take that long. It'll be like like a year or two. Like it's like you can figure it's like that. It's like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Let's not talk about that too much. We have a extremely long segment here. You said we don't have traffic in this either?
Not that I could see, no.
Oh man, brutal. 4th of July weekend this weekend. I'm excited. I love the 4th of July. I think it's a fun. The summer holidays, fantastic. Summer holiday, fantastic. Do some grilling, watch a parade, see some fireworks. Although I'm not like super into fireworks. I think they're cool, but like I feel like at this point it's been a little overplayed. So for me, I want to say it's tomorrow. It's not tomorrow. We have tomorrow off because of the fact that this is our recognized holiday. So it's an extra long holiday weekend, which is great. And you know what? Who needs that? Padres fans need that. A little extra long holiday for Padres baseball. Oh, and they get, you know what they get? They get the Dodgers for 4 days.
Yep.
That's going to be fun. What do you guys cook on the 4th of July? If you say like baked ziti or something like this, I might smack you.
No, it's the standard stuff.
Standard stuff.
Yeah,
what do you do, like burgers and dogs?
Yeah, burgers, hot dogs, bratwurst for me, most likely.
You're a brat guy over a hot dog guy?
Yes.
Oh, just because he likes the casing. He likes that little snap.
Yeah.
When he bites into it.
But other than that, I mean, it's basic standard stuff. We don't do anything too crazy.
No, there's a couple of things I do not want to do on the 4th of July. One, go to the beach. I have zero interest in going to the beach on the 4th of July.
Absolutely not. My
brother still does that. Like he's been doing it the last couple of years. Young people do that. I would consider myself young to an extent, but absolutely zero chances I'm going to the beach tomorrow. Absolutely zero chance I'm going to the beach. Saturday.
That's why I went yesterday.
You went to the beach yesterday on your day off?
Yeah, it was kind of chilled out, yeah.
How about that?
IP was nice. It wasn't too hot. There was still a little gloom in the morning when I went, so sun wasn't too bad. It's all nice.
I thought you didn't like the beach.
When I need to just sit down and clear my head, it's the perfect place to go. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, you know what? I'll give you that. There's a couple of things that you don't do on the 4th of July as a San Diegan. One is go to the beach because you have to get up at like 5 in the morning, go pick out a spot, and then you're packed in like sardines. Number 2, kind of the fair. Like you kind of don't really want to go to the fair on the 4th of July. I have done both of those things. In fact, most of the activities they tell you not to do as a San Diegan on the 4th of July, I have physically done. Will I do it again? Probably not. I'm going to go to the fair today.
You got to experience the why, first of all.
So you can explain to other people why you would never do it?
Don't do this.
I can agree with that. Yeah, that's a don't do this. But, yeah, the beach, too much. The fair, like, the fair's kind of packed. You don't really want to do the fair on the 4th of July. I like to chill on the 4th of July. So, like, this weekend, hot dogs and burgers, usually the deal. But on a Saturday, now when I was planning this out for Saturday, I was like, oh, cool. Watch Padres Dodgers. They'll be hopefully they'll be locked into a division race. Oh man. Got the World Cup going on. Throw a brisket on the smoker the day before. Smell the smoked meats while you sit by the pool. Watch TV outside. That's great 4th of July. Great 4th of July. That's what I would be mostly interested in doing. And that's what I think I'm going to be doing. In terms of, do you do s'mores? Is that a summer dessert?
No.
Yeah, what's the dessert at the Marchese house?
Italian ices. Really?
Italian ice.
Yeah. The Lindy's Italian ice. Those are really good.
You like Italian ice? You like ice?
Yeah.
Really?
Especially when it's hot. Well, why would I sit by a fire?
Because it's at nighttime. You do it at night. You don't do it in the middle of the day.
But it's hot.
So? It's not like super hot at night.
I hate being hot. I'm not going to sit next to a fire while it's hot.
Don't over grill the casings over here. They will pop.
Yes, they will.
Yeah, B. Wilson in the chat does potlucks. That's pretty cool. That's also fun. Ideally, you do like a, burgers and hot dogs. I used to always get hot dogs on the floor. That would be my choice. I don't probably go hot dogs over burgers. And then in terms of like the sides, you have to have like potato salad. Do you not? Unless you don't like potato salad. You're a very picky eater. potato salad, maybe do some ranch style beans. Throw in a salad to pretend like you're going to eat it. Little roll. Not really a roll. You got it with the buns. Dessert-wise, brownies.
Sure.
Got those get those frosted cookies at Vaughn's that are made with so many chemicals that have red, white, and blue frosting and sprinkles.
Don't worry about that.
You know, it's good too. A good hot link on a 4th of July.
Yeah,
that might burn your casings off. Get those Louisiana hot links. I'm looking forward to the 4th of July. Again, the thing with the fireworks, I like fireworks, but I'm not going to drive out of my way for fireworks now because they have them everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can watch fireworks anywhere now. So my usual 4th of July is, and I'm going to be I got signed up to do the 2-mile fun run. So I'll be getting up early. I will be walking in the fun run. It's a fun walk/run.
So
I will not be running.
You were voluntold?
I was voluntold, yes.
Okay.
My brother apparently also was voluntold because he'll be there. I do the Scripps Ranch fun run walk deal. And then after that, they have if you do that, you get a free token to the beer garden. So you go to the beer garden, hang out there. Then you walk up, watch the parade. You know, that's kind of cool. I don't mind the parade. And then after that, you go home, start getting the cooking going. If you're doing something bigger, like a brisket, then that thing's already been cooking for a while. Then you chill by the pool all day. That's the ideal 4th of July. If you have a party or something at your house, also in. So that's the 4th of July plans, if you will. Is that what you're doing? Just hanging around?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Hanging around, most likely in the air conditioning.
Oh, you're going inside? I'm going to hang outside.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good on the outside.
You need the grill marks on the casings, dude.
Yeah, we have our backyard. We have 2 grills in the backyard. We're good with that. Outside.
Are you gonna help? Are you gonna grill or does
no, my dad
Papa
won't.
Marchese do it for you?
He'll do that. He has fun with that.
You don't have any interest in doing that?
It's not that I don't have interest. It's that I don't.
You're not gonna help your pops?
No.
Cook a little bit?
No, he does it to relax, so I'm not gonna get in his way.
I'm not gonna stress him out by
exactly. Yeah, I'm not gonna stress
him
out by trying to help him.
Frank's gonna be like, I got the hot dogs, Dad. I'm gonna throw them in the pot over here. Boil them.
There you go. See?
All right. That's enough of that nonsense. I can't not address yesterday's game. It was so bad from all areas. Just everything. Everything was bad. There was nothing good about anything yesterday. Nothing.
I thought it went pretty well, honestly, other than the red card. It was pretty solid. It was a pretty solid day yesterday.
You know, Team USA did look pretty good. They were able to score with 10 guys. They must have took that out of San Diego FC's playbook. We'll talk about that later on. Drake Hills will join us later on.
Oh, I thought you were talking about that now. My bad.
No,
sorry.
No, that game was fun. I went and watched that at a watch bar. Just at a bar. And I tell you what, that was a fun time. It was a good time. Now, they scored 4 goals where everybody lost their minds. Only 2 of them counted. All the offsides.
You only need
out
one
there.
of them to count, though.
Yeah, right. You only needed one of them to count yesterday. But the biggest news with that game is Team USA losing their best player on a red card that I've been told is the right call. And
yes, it was.
As I say, that's a dumb rule. Then I don't know how you can. I don't know how you can have it's the same thing though that I complain about with targeting, Frank. It's the same. It's we got to fix this if this is the problem.
You have to get somewhat remotely close to the ball. It was a reckless challenge. The ball was nowhere near them at the time.
All right, let me ask you this then. What do you want him to do instead? If it's if you could prevent it from happening, because that's what an ejection is. It's so egregious and your intention is to hurt. How do you?
It wasn't his intent. It's not an intention to hurt.
Right. So how can you eject somebody from a contest and then play with 10 guys when it wasn't something that was egregious intent to hurt? Is there any ejection in any sport where you get ejected for a bang mistake play?
In soccer, it's not necessarily about. I mean, there is definitely the thought of intent, but it's also the proximity to the ball. Like if you clip the guy and then get the ball, that's most likely a yellow card. Because you need to. If you want no penalty, you have to get the ball first. So if you get the ball and then the guy, well, sorry, you were there. He got ball first. If it's the other way around, it's most likely a yellow card, depending upon how bad the tackle looked. But if you're nowhere near the ball and you spike a guy in the ankle, then yeah, that is a card. You could you could in some way, you could probably try to like lean in spikes down instead of spikes up to try to mitigate it. But yeah, if you spike someone and you're nowhere near the ball, that's a red card more times than not.
Even if it's an accident.
Yeah.
That's dumb. Ejecting somebody for an accident is dumb. It's stupid. Why would you ever have that in any sport?
It's also the rules of the game. That's why you see guys flopping and like the whole big dramatics.
And you wonder why people, at least in America, just go like, why am I watching this?
But that's
why
though it's more advantageous for the attacking team to do stuff like that, which is why they do it and why they have the rules set up. It's the same thing in the NFL. When you think of like roughing the passer and all the penalties surrounding the quarterback, it's advantageous for the quarterback to try to lean into some of those, a la Patrick Mahomes, to get those penalties. Soccer's the same way.
Right, but I think those rules are stupid too. It's not like I'm saying it's the wrong call. I'm saying it's a stupid rule. There's no reason for a play where two guys are going after the ball, and just because the guy's cleat landed on the back of his ankle in the process means you don't get to play for 2 games. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Oh.
It's just dumb. I don't know how you can sit there and watch that and be like, oh, that's a great, like, when rules get established, it's like things happen. You're like, all right, that's unfair. We got to put in a rule. At what point it's like that guy should not be allowed to play? That to me is the deal. If you want to give him like a yellow card, fine. Whatever. It's just my thing is if it's an ejectable play, that means he had an opportunity to do something else to not get ejected. So in that particular situation, Frank, what would you tell the player that got the red card to do differently to not get ejected?
Either peel off or spikes down. One of the two. You have a 1-0 lead. They have not been threatening too much to a point where it's like, oh my God, we really need to try to take advantage of every spot here. I would tell him either to go spikes down, or if the tackle's in question, just peel off.
So the thing would be, don't try to compete for the ball, just get out of the way.
In that certain circumstance, yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, then
if it was 1-0 the other way at that time, then no, you can't tell him to do anything different. But it's situational.
Like, I just saw the play again. It's like, how is he supposed to know his foot's going to go down on his ankle? In which in the heat of the play, as he's boxing,
it's bad luck for sure.
It's probably better just to not even defend, just let him take the ball, which is the same argument I make all the time on targeting for football. I ask, what do you want him to do? And they're like, well, just get out of the way. Oh, so just as a defensive guy, just let him catch it and then let him go. Those are rules to me in sports in general that need to be tweaked. If we're, just being honest here.
No, that's fair.
Like if you were to say that was a yellow card, I'd been like, all right, fair enough. Makes sense. Guy gets spiked in the back of the leg. But the fact that he is now out the rest of that game and then out the next game, that to me should be for like a cheap shot play in terms of rules. Be ejected for the next game.
That's the way red cards are all around
Frank,
the league.
I understand that. I'm saying general philosophies of sports.
And I'm saying it for the non-soccer fans. That's not just a World Cup thing. That's every single league around the world. If you get a red card, then you're out for the next game. So it's not just a specific World Cup thing. Also, 2 yellows. If you get 2 yellows in over the course of multiple games. So like if you get a yellow card in this game and you get a yellow card in the next game, then you're out for the game after that. So, I mean, those are rules that are around the world of soccer and not just here for the World Cup.
Right. Well, I don't think a lot of people think that was just a World Cup thing. How many rules are in this game that are just World Cup rules?
Well, the fact that they played at San Francisco Bay Area Stadium.
I meant like the physical, actual game. Like, is there a yellow card for doing something in the World Cup that's not a yellow card in regular soccer?
No, but different leagues do have different rules. They have different standings. They have different ways of doing things in different leagues around the world. So it could stand to reason that for a non-soccer fan that knows that things are done differently, there's a chance that something could be different.
Plus, the guy's name is not Messi, so that's another reason why he didn't get a red card. Because if you watch both of them, and you see,
Ronaldo or Kane.
I saw them. They were showing that all day. Yesterday, Americans were like pointing out to this, which is a different game at a different time, a different thing with a different player. But like Messi's, like if you were to show me both of these, and I didn't watch either game, and you're like, which one of these is an ejection and which one's not, I would have been like, that one is, and this USA one is not. And
it is also up to official discretion as well. Some officials are more strict than others, and they do have VAR, as you saw. That those VAR officials might be more lenient than others. They might be stricter than others. And easy money to hydration breaks again. If you watch any of the European leagues, if you watch the Premier League, if you watch Bundesliga, if you watch Serie A, especially during the summer at the beginning of the season, they have the hydration breaks. That is not a World Cup sellout thing for for sponsorship. That is a thing that all soccer leagues do during the summer at the start of the season. That is nothing new.
Yeah, everybody's like,
hydration breaks are a thing.
Everybody's like, why don't you appeal? It's like they don't really have an appeal process.
There's not really an appeal
this
process.
Isn't like, exactly. The whole thing, I've had it explained to me 1,000 times of why it was a red card, and every time I go like, it's still dumb. It's still stupid. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, can't put your hand over your mouth. That was another thing that came up. What match did that come up in? I don't think I have it on the sheet anymore. No, it came up a couple of nights ago.
You can't put your hand. Why? Because people were saying some very, very bad things.
You can, yes,
that are that nobody should be saying.
You can put your hand over your mouth to like speak. Like if you're talking to a teammate, you can you can put your hand over your mouth just to like communicate. But if you put your hand over your mouth to communicate with an opposing player, that's an automatic red. Mexico, Ecuador, because again, exactly, people do say less than colorful things.
Yeah, I understand why they would do that, but again, and this is not me just being like crush soccer, because I eviscerate football rules all the time.
Yeah, every sport has those rules.
I eviscerate dumb football rules all the time. Targeting is a dumb football rule. It's dumb getting ejected for some of those things, unless it's egregious. Like to me, for all of sports, you should be ejected for trying to intentionally cause harm to another player. Or like just start screaming at a ref or something like that. Or doing what the Bosnia coach was doing yesterday, where he picked up the ball and just started having a fit on the sidelines. What was that even about? I'm at a bar, so I have no idea what they were talking about. Did you see that? It was like right after that play.
I think there was a missed call because I was kind of like half focusing on it also at that time. So I believe there was a missed call, and the Bosnia coach just went insane.
Yeah, he grabbed the ball. He's like freaking out. Like, they couldn't play because he had the game ball in his hand, and they didn't. They have I know, but they were just letting him just have an episode. I was like, what is this guy doing right now? Crazy. Did they get the Texas Tech judge to rule on that one? They got to get an American judge to rule on that. Tell FIFA it's like, yep, nope, he's allowed to play. You can't ban him from playing.
Yeah,
can't ban him from playing. We're gonna go to court on this one.
Honestly, I wouldn't be all that upset because yes, he is one of the best players on the team. He scored 3 of the 10 goals that the United States has scored so far in the World Cup. But if you watched, and we'll go over it in our World Cupdate at 8 today. Belgium is who they're going to be playing now. They escaped Senegal. They scored 2 goals in 3 minutes inside of 5 minutes to go in the game, and then got an iffy penalty kick call at the very end of extra time. So I wouldn't be too concerned about who you're going into next week. It's definitely a handicap for sure. But with the way Belgium played against Senegal and barely escaping, Senegal's not that great either. I wouldn't be too concerned. I think the U.S. is quarterfinal bound either way.
If they don't win next round, we can always blame the Frank Marchese jinx.
Well, you can blame Balogun getting a red card. That's really
I don't know. He said, "Oh, they're definitely quarterfinal bound."
I said they are likely quarterfinal bound. They should be quarterfinal bound either way.
They should be quarterfinal bound. We'll see. They play on Monday. They will play Belgium on Monday. But you know what? Good to see USA Soccer be as good. I mean, you lose your best player in the 64th minute of the contest while you're up 1-0, and you still were able to put home a goal late. I mean, they were able to weather the storm there. They just can't get into a San Diego FC pattern with the red cards.
Oh, he's got the right idea. Just blame Mr. Matt.
He's the problem. The Padres right now are also a problem. They're a massive problem. They have massive problems. And, you know, I knew it was only a matter of time for Walker Buehler to have a clunker, because if the guy that you brought in, who was a reclamation project, that you brought in to be your number 5th starter, has turned into your best starter, he wasn't going to be your best starter the rest of the season. He was those are players that kind of hold things together until your guys that you paid money for figure it out. And unfortunately for Walker Buehler, the dam broke. It did it for him. It did it for the bullpen. The offense only scored 3 runs. Padres had the most lopsided loss in franchise history. And we'll talk about it when we come back. Just getting started on the Braden Surprenant Show. San Diego's #1 sports station, 97 through the Fan. The 2026 NHL draft grades are in. Toronto comes out on top with an A+ after landing Gavin McKenna first overall, potential franchise-changing winger. Right behind him, San Jose Sharks continue building one of NHL's most dangerous young cores with another elite draft haul. But there's a twist. Some of the worst grades belong to teams like Edmonton, Vegas, and Dallas, not because they drafted poorly, but because they've spent years trading picks to chase Stanley Cup. So what actually matters more, winning draft day or winning playoff series? Because right now, the NHL proves you usually can't have both. 2026 NHL draft officially complete. And while it will take years to fully evaluate, early draft grades are already shaping the conversation around the league. One thing is clear. This was a draft where top-heavy teams with premium picks made the biggest impact, while contending teams with fewer selections mostly held steady. Toronto headlines the class after landing a consensus #1 pick in Gavin McKenna, while San Jose continues to stack elite young talent behind their rebuild. Meanwhile, several contenders like Edmonton, Dallas, and Vegas receive lower grades largely due to a lack of draft capital rather than poor scouting. But Toronto, obviously, really hard to mess up the number 1 overall pick. San Jose continuing to add to a very young core. But how about Vancouver and Calgary adding some pretty impressive grades, Frank?
Yeah, absolutely. Toronto was the only team to earn the A+, highlighted by the consensus overall pick out of Penn State, Gavin McKenna. He's viewed as a franchise-changing winger with elite vision, high-end offensive upside, and the Leafs backed it up with a productive draft class beyond just that top pick. San Jose followed with an A grade, adding Ivar Stenberg at number 2, along with defensive Keaton Verhoff and Ryan Lynn, giving them one of the strongest young cores in the NHL. Calgary and Vancouver also earning A minus grades, with Calgary reinforcing its blue line through Carson Karls, while Vancouver made headlines with Caleb Malhotra, 3rd overall, and continuing to build in depth through day number 2 of the draft.
I do want to talk about like some solid hauls, some B+ to B grades. I mean, Anaheim and Buffalo got a pretty good grade in the Bs as well. Anaheim continued their whole let's go young kind of attitude. They traded John Carlson. They traded McTavish. Now McTavish is one of the younger players, but they got a 1st-round pick for him. They traded into the 1st round with the McTavish trade. And then just today, they traded Gudas as well. So a couple of the veteran players on this team have now been shipped off, and they continue to get young. And Anaheim, I think at this point, with how close that they were with Vegas, who ended up going to the Stanley Cup final, I feel like they could taste that and continue to add to what has been a very young core in Anaheim.
Yeah, and for them, they ended up drafting Nikita Klepov and Marcus Nordmark, 2 wingers who are very highly touted. So solid draft for Anaheim, including giving up guys like Mason McTavish, as you mentioned, to go out and get back into the 1st round. Rangers added some guys as well. LA with Elton Hammerson, great piece for the Kings. Seattle was good. They picked up offensive defenseman Chase Reed, who's seen as a power play quarterback, more or less. So solid drafts for those teams as well.
Big picture takeaway, though. I mean, obviously, like draft grades are often a reflection of opportunity, not just evaluation. It's really hard to mess up the number 1 pick. You're almost always going to get a really good draft if you have a high pick, right?
Especially when it's as obvious as Gavin McKenna is.
But on top of that, too, it's like if a lot of the bad grades were because they didn't have a lot of draft picks, I mean, how much of a bad grade is that in reality, right? So I feel like you have to value the on-ice success a lot more than the draft day success. And this is fun to talk about on sports talk shows, but when you talk about like draft recaps, you don't know how good anybody of these guys are going to be, right? I mean, what could be a steal in the later rounds ends up being a bust and it's a wasted pick. Or, what could be a guy that's like, oh, that's kind of a reach, ends up being, a major focal point in a franchise. So until you get like 5-6 years down the road where you get to see these guys not only become professionals, but make it to the NHL, and then what they do in the NHL after making it there, that to me is the best kind of takeaway or best time to really grade a draft, is like a couple years down the road once you know what these players turn into.
Yeah, it is. It's always fun to do this now and based off the potential and what you see these guys as. But there are guys like Gavin McKenna is not going to spend a single second with the Toronto Marlies. He's that good. He is not going to. Ivar Stenberg will most likely learn on the job in San Jose, and they've got a very young core of players as well. Do the Sharks. So, but there are, unlike any other real draft, these guys are going to make an instant impact on these teams a lot of the time. So you can, for the higher draft picks, yeah, it is fair to do this now. But for the later round draft picks, for the teams that didn't get too many picks, it is still a little bit too early to grade those teams.
September is when the preseason starts. It's right around the corner. I know hockey season just ended, but I feel like it's about to begin. Got a little taste of it with the draft coverage. Broadcasting live from the Bill House studio. We know how. We are the Braden Surprenant Show, filling in for Bennett Woods here in the morning. 833-288-0973. 833-288-0973. He's Frank Marchese. I'm Braden Surprenant. This is the Braden Surprenant Show, live and local each every day from 10 to 2 on San Diego's number one sports station, 97.3 The Fan. All right, let's talk about yesterday's Padres game, shall we? Do we have to? Do we have to, Frank? Do we have to?
Oh boy.
Oh, man.
It was good.
Until it wasn't.
Then it started.
Then the game started. And, man, 23-3 loss to the Cubs. Dominated the headlines here in San Diego. Why? Because it was statistically the worst defeat in Padres franchise history. However, Kevin Acee noted in his daily newsletter that the blowout isn't the biggest concern. The bigger issue is that it exposed problems that have been developing for weeks. A starting rotation that cannot consistently survive 5 innings, a team rapidly falling out of a playoff race, and an organization approaching difficult trade deadline decisions that nobody wanted to discuss a month ago. Well, the offense has quietly improved over the past 2 weeks. The rotation continues to collapse, placing impossible pressure on the bullpen every night, which we have now seen collapse. I did see one of the best comments yesterday was, "Oh, I saw the score. Ouch." In which another response was, when did Northwestern miss their point after attempt?
May not have been a PAT. It might have been.
Maybe they went for 2 early in the game.
Field goals.
I tell you what, if San Diego State lost to Northwestern 23-3,
that's 3 field goals.
I would be also very upset. By the numbers yesterday, they lost 23-3 to the Cubs. Largest loss in Padres history, a 20-run defeat. Previous worst loss was 19 runs. They allowed 23 runs for only the second time ever. They allowed 8 home runs, which is a franchise record. And the Cubs reached base 24 times. Manny Machado said it best. Got her ass spanked.
There's nothing really else you can say other than that. Is there?
You could say it only counts as 1 loss in the standings. That's what Craig Stammen said yesterday in the postgame. But it literally illustrated every issue that's been hurting the Padres during this 5-game losing streak. 5 days ago, think about this. 5 days ago, they beat the Dodgers. 6 days ago, 5 days ago, whatever it is. They held a wild card spot. 5 losses later, 2 games out of the playoffs, 2 teams now ahead of them, trending in the wrong direction. And with 77 games left, nothing is over yet. But history suggests the Padres would now likely need to finish roughly 44-33, playing .571 baseball, just to have a realistic playoff chance.
And it's not just for that either. It's the tiebreakers you have. You're going up against 9 other teams right now who are within 5 of the cut line, 5 games back of the cut line in the wild card. And you have a losing record to all but 2 of them. One of them you haven't played yet. And that's another
and
key
that team looks
factor.
A lot better right now than some of these other teams that you've lost series to.
That is a key factor in this loss. You've lost the season series to the Cubs, Phillies, and Cardinals. You're losing to the Nationals. You're beating the Pirates. You're beating the Braves. You're losing to the Brewers.
Let's not even point that. Let's just point out the fact that the Padres haven't been able to beat any team in the National League.
Right, yeah.
With the exception of Atlanta. Sweet, they took 2 out of 3 from Pittsburgh. Aside from playing the Rockies and the Giants, they haven't proven to beat anybody in the National League. Most of their wins come from the American League, who is, by the way, obnoxiously bad. Obnoxiously bad.
By the way, I'm fine if I never see Dansby Swanson ever again. With what he did to our 2 teams in a week.
And guess what he's going to do from here on out?
Nothing.
Suck again. That's what he's going to be. That's like the week that a guy has where he can go at the end of the year. He could be like, oh, the back of my baseball card. That's the definition of back of my baseball card of like getting the numbers that you need.
He had 2.5 home runs yesterday.
Say 2.5.
Yes.
The half is against Rodolfo Duran.
Yes.
There's a lot of guys on base for that one, so you should get him a full for that.
Some would say they were full.
Yeah. So if you hit a home run against the position player, it's a half a home run. But if it's a grand slam, you get a full home run for that.
Okay, fine. I'm amendable to that.
Dansby Swanson had 26 RBIs in his last 5 games. Are you kidding me? For a guy that was like statistically the worst batter in the league.
15 RBIs in 36 hours against the Mets. He gets 11 yesterday. And 4 home runs in the last 2 games.
Against the Mets, that wasn't like a doubleheader. He did this in 1 game.
And against the Mets, it was funny.
Yeah, it's funny because it's like kicking Mr. Met when he's down. It's not funny anymore, is it?
No fun.
No fun, sir. Last 14 games for the Padres for their starters. 10 starts under 5 innings. I feel like I could do that.
And that's with Michael King in the rotation.
I'm gonna phrase that. You might as well just start throwing position players out there, if that's the case. Seriously. I mean, you can't get any of your starters to get you at least 5 innings. We talked about this yesterday. 5 innings. You're not asking these guys to go 7. You're not asking these guys to be like Bob Scanlon in the 90s where he says, like, if I didn't get 7 or 8 innings, they're like, hey, Bob, we got a nice long relief roll for you, buddy. No. 5 innings. They can't even get 5 innings. League average starts are at 5.5 1/3. Teams are 236 and 541 when starters fail to reach 5 innings. This is from Kevin Acey's newsletter. Teams in Major League Baseball are 798 and 488 when starters reach the 6th inning. I mean, the Padres simply aren't even giving themselves a chance most nights. You don't even have a chance if your starter's going for. I mean, you're basically throwing an opener long. That's why the piggyback situation might be your best bet. Walker Buehler went from a key addition to now a trade deadline question. His last 5 June starts, he allowed 1 run in each outing yesterday, 9 runs allowed, worst outing of his career. Now the front office sees 2 possible futures. Scenario A, Padres recover, Buehler becomes an important playoff starter. Scenario B, Padres continue losing, Buehler becomes one of the team's most valuable trade chips. It's becoming realistic. You're going to start seeing some Mason Miller conversations too. Would have sounded absurd entering June, but now, obviously, it's an interesting conversation. But as mentioned before, and here's what we're going to talk about the next hour, is the fact that even if you wanted to rebuild this team,
you can't.
I don't even know if you really can. And stop, and here's what you have to do as a fan right now. You have to take, it's the first rule of poker. Ocean's 11. What's the first rule of poker? Leave emotion at the door. That's what you need to do when you start making these decisions and start planning out what the future would look like. Because again, I saw a guy on social media go, it wouldn't take long. Are you kidding me? What do you mean it wouldn't take long? I mean, you would have to. We'll start going through those in the next hour. Before we talk about what actually isn't that bad right now, we got to take a look at traffic.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's your latest traffic update.
El Cajon to La Mesa into and through San Diego toward Ocean Beach. The westbound 8 is moving along at the speed limit. Joey Vlasny with Odyssey San Diego traffic.
This update is brought to you by the California Office of Traffic Safety.
Speeding catches up with you when you get caught and handed a ticket, or worse, in a crash. No one makes summer plans for fines or a trip to the hospital after a crash. So slow down and follow the speed limit. Make your 100 days of summer and beyond the safest ones. A message from the California Office of Traffic Safety and Caltrans.
It's the first traffic report I've heard without Kelly Danek. That was interesting.
I mean, there's been a lot.
No, I know.
Okay.
That's the first one I've actually heard and paid attention to.
All right. Let's get back on track here. Let's focus. There is a couple of things that are not that bad. Surprisingly, for this team. You would think there would be like everything's bad. And a couple of things aren't that bad. He's Frank Marchese. I'm Braden Surprenant. We're the Braden Surprenant Show on each and every day from 10 to 2 on San Diego's number one sports station, 97 through the Fan. If you're hearing us early in the morning, we're filling in for Ben and Woods, who are coming back from arguably the worst possible outcome trip in terms of on the field. I'm sure they had a great time anyway.
It's about the memories you made along the way. Okay, I'll shut up.
This was a family trip, too, for like the team. Did you know that?
No, I did not.
They take like one or two family trips, or they bring the families on the trip.
Oh.
I was told this was one of them.
That's unfortunate.
Anyway, the offense surprisingly isn't actually bad right now. Over the last 13 games, they're hitting .271 as a team. That's the 8th best in baseball over that span. 813 OPS, 8th best in baseball over that span. 130 at-bats with runners in scoring position, 3rd most. Playoff caliber offensive numbers, right, Frank?
Yeah.
Except for the fact that the only stat that matters in offense is runs. And they're getting 4.5 runs per game during that stretch, which is 16th in baseball because of situations. Situations. We've been talking a lot about situations this week, haven't we, Francis?
Yes, we have, Brandon.
That's right. Runners in scoring position problems. They continue. Over the last 6 games, 9 innings with the runner on second or third, nobody out. They have had 9 innings with the runner on second or third and nobody out. Out of those 9 innings, Frank, how many times did they score runs those innings?
Once.
3 times. 33% of the time. Do you know what the league average is at that? You know what an average baseball team does if they get a runner on second or third with nobody out? You know what their conversion rate is?
45%?
I talked about it a couple of days ago.
I don't listen to you.
I know. We know. We have established that.
45%.
70%.
Eesh.
Not great, Bob. Not great.
No.
Yesterday, 3rd inning, double, hit batter. Result? Take a wild guess.
Ungood.
0 runs. 0. Almost feel like the guy from the Sandlot. Forever. 0. Other positive news, Ty France. Over the last 11 games, 394 average, 13 for 33, 3 doubles, 4 home runs. Continues getting hits. And continues to be hit. 4 of the last 5 games. He actually led Major League Baseball in times hit last year. He's gotten hit 4 of the last 5 games. Made a small hand position adjustment about 2 weeks ago that appears to be unlocking his swing. Good for Ty.
Fernando had 2 home runs the other day. That's a positive.
Sungmin Song got a home run yesterday. Hey.
Cronenworth went 2 for 4.
3 for 4.
3 for 4 yesterday.
Yeah.
What was it, yesterday or 2 days ago? When was that? 2 days?
He
Yesterday?
went 3 for 4 yesterday. He had the day off 2 days ago. How about this? Sungmin Song's last 14 games, 323 average, 400 on base, 484 slug. Yesterday was his first MLB home run. Had a double, played third base. That's about it. Fernando had 23 game on base streak ended. Longest streak of his career, tied for the longest streak. Jackson Merrill hitless and 10 at-bats with runners in scoring position. That's not great. And the bullpen usage continues to be through the roof. Overall, I'm just saying right now, like everything from yesterday is very bleak. I don't know how it's going to get any better this weekend in LA. I really don't. I don't know how you can view like going into this series against LA and be like, oh man, Padres got a really good chance of splitting. I don't even think they have a good chance of splitting in Los Angeles with the way that they've been playing.
Just
see the positive in the YouTube chat. We're not the Rockies or Giants yet, buddy. Right now, it's trending towards that. Not the Rockies or Giants yet.
Just come back home at 500 at minimum, which is you win And game.
One game.
Just come back home 500.
We went from trying to get
the same record you had last year.
We went from trying to be 500 in the month of June to now, as long as the team is 500 by the time they come back, we'll be in better shape. I mean, yesterday was flat out embarrassing. It was just embarrassing from top to bottom, across the board. I mean, I just, if that doesn't piss this team off, I don't know what will. Yesterday's game goes two ways. One, and this is just what I've seen out of teams that I've coached. This is what I've seen out of teams I've been a part of. Games like yesterday either go, this is BS, we're not doing this again, let's wake the bleep up, and let's go take care of business. Or yesterday's game turns into, woe is me, we're not very good, bleep it. Those are the two directions this is going to potentially go.
I feel yesterday was more of a bonding moment than a dismantling one, if I'm honest. I don't see how that did not anger this team beyond them not doing anything. It's when you lose a game like that, if you're a competitor, if you're a professional athlete and a competitor, you have to take a loss like that personally and vow never to have that again.
And if it doesn't, then you don't have those guys.
Yeah.
Then you don't have those players, right? If that doesn't just completely set this clubhouse off, and you don't have any competitors.
And again, that's, as Ray Darko said in the chat, why wouldn't they be angry already? That's fair. There are losses, though, that push you over the edge. Yesterday should be that loss.
I could see that they've been frustrated already.
Yes.
I don't know about angry. The way I saw that video of Machado leaving Wrigley Field yesterday, that was the most kind of angry I've seen him in a long time. Seriously. What a plane ride back home, by the way. What a plane ride back home for the Padres. Okay. When we come back, we're going to address the situation of what to do, what people want to see this team do at the trade deadline, and why that doesn't make any sense. Hour in, couple of more hours to go. Braden Surprenant Show, Standing Summer Sports Station 97.3 The Fan. Hour number 2 of the Braden Surprenant Show. We're filling in for Ben and Woods in the morning. Early risers today. I tell you what, when Adam asks us to fill in for the morning show, which is every once in a while, if it's the summertime, it's a lot easier for me to say yes. In the wintertime, not so much. It might be the opposite for you because you like cold stuff, so maybe you like waking up that early when it's cold.
No.
You don't like waking up early ever?
No.
But in the summertime, I'm used to like being at football practice. Like right now, I'd be an hour into football practice. So instead of going to Cathedral this morning at 6 a.m, I just drove down here. So they're out there practicing today. Nothing changed with my routine this week. I have been getting up at the same time every day for the last 3 or 4 weeks. So you know what? This made it really easy. Picked up my coffee this morning. I don't do that for football practice. I get the coffee after football practice.
Lucky you.
You didn't have time to pick up a coffee?
I don't drink coffee.
I was going to say.
This is all natural, low energy right here.
This is all natural, all natty, low energy. You know, if you wake up to start the day and you have a glass of water, get you ready to go. There you go. There's his water. Okay. Let's talk about this Padres situation now. So we talked a little bit about the fact that yesterday was awful. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Yesterday, inexcusable performance, flat out embarrassing performance for the San Diego Padres. So now comes the let's trade everybody situation, right? It's the panic move of we got to trade everybody. We got to trade everybody. We need a brand new roster. This is ridiculous. Look at all these guys we used to have. Let's trade everybody. Blah, 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 blah. Now, at this point, if they continue on this path, buying would be a waste of time. But for everybody that wants to sell, what exactly are you selling and what are you getting back? And here's the thing, Frank. This is what I told you this off air, and I will continue to say this. Unless you got names of guys that are going to automatically be stud major leaguers that you think are going to happen, I don't want to hear these trades of, oh, let's trade Mason Miller for good prospects. That might be the dumbest thing I hear every single time. Well, what are you going to trade him for? You know, solid prospects. What does that mean?
I was thinking,
mythical creatures. You're trading for mythical creatures that you're hoping could potentially become what? An all-star? An everyday player? I mean, what are you looking for? Because most of the time, you're not getting a massive haul where you have 3 or 4 all-stars out of the group.
that's a good idea because I was thinking about a couple of career complex league players for Mason Miller. Thank you for denoting the good prospects bit.
But here's the thing. It's like, unless somebody said, like in the YouTube chat, unless you're getting someone like Leo DeVries, we don't even know if Leo DeVries is going to be good in Major League Baseball. We assume he is. I think he's going to be. But you know who else everybody thought was going to be good in Major League Baseball? You know who else was supposed to be one of the best players? Jared Kelenic. Jared Kelenic got traded for Edwin Diaz, who at the time was what? The best closer in baseball? Was he? Probably close to it, Frank, right? When the Mets traded for Edwin Diaz, was he the best closer in baseball? He probably was top 3 or 4.
He was
pretty good.
There, yeah.
He was kind of like the younger guy, right? Was he Mason Miller level? Probably not. But but they traded their best prospect at Jared Kelenic. It's not like they would have got somebody better. That's the best guy they had to offer. They traded him and 2 other of their top 10 prospects. 3 of them didn't pan out, and Jared Kelenic isn't anything close to what people thought he was going to be. Right? If you want to talk about the Juan Soto trade, right? How many stars did we give up? You gave up right now 2 with CJ Abrams and James Wood. Now, they're having really good years. You know who else was having a very good year, Frank? that everybody wants gone. You know who else was a good prospect that was having a great year that's currently not?
Who?
Jackson Merrill. Jackson Merrill is one of those prospects that you kept, and he had a great first year, and then 2 years later, everybody wants him gone. They're like, this guy sucks. This guy was never good. He fleeced the organization. He fooled us. He's a bust. So if you got a guy back that had the production of Jackson Merrill, but then like had a couple of bad years in between, I mean, like, seriously, what do you think you're going to get in return? What do you think you're going to get back in return? By the way, I did this last night. If the Padres had not traded anything since 2020, what would their team look like? Now, this is very much a massive guessing game, correct? Because you don't know who they would sign if they didn't trade anybody. You don't know what they... I'm just saying, if they didn't make any trades, what would the roster be like? As of right now, according to Fangraphs, the Padres have a team 17.9 WAR. Okay? 17.5. All right? As of right now, they have a team 17.5 WAR. You feel me on that? Okay? That's with everything that they have. Now, if you didn't make any trades, who would your catchers be right now? I mean, at the top of my head, I think of Luis Camposano and Brandon Valenzuela. Right?
Francisco Mejia gone.
But here's the other thing, too. I'm not including anybody on this that would have not... I'm not assuming that we kept everybody forever. Like, once their contract was over, it's like they're gone.
Well, no, I was just asking if he was on the team in 2020, because he would have been a guy that
got traded.
Yeah.
Is he even playing in the league anymore?
I don't think so. I don't know. If he is, he's not a starter.
Let's just go with guys that are in the big leagues right now.
That's fine.
Let's just make it even. I'm trying to stack this team. Who are your catchers right now? Camposano and Valenzuela? Probably. Sure. Camposano's still on your team, 0.6 WAR. Brandon Valenzuela right now has got a 1.3 WAR. Not bad. Already off to a pretty good start. It's better than 0.3 and 0.6. Who's playing first base? I mean, maybe they would have signed somebody, but Ty France was traded in 2020. Maybe he's still on the team. Ty France is a guy that's on this team that wasn't traded for. So he stays on the team. He's got a 1.8 WAR. Jake Cronenworth didn't trade him. He's still on the team. Now, even though Xander Bogaerts was signed and not traded for just to make this team look as good as possible, I'm going to have CJ Abrams on this team and not Xander Bogaerts. I think that's fair. Is that fair?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay, CJ Abrams has a 2.8 WAR, and Xander Bogaerts has a 1.3 WAR. You got an upgrade there. Manny's still the same. He's on the team. Jackson Merrill's still the same. He's on the team. Fernando's still the same. He's on the team. In left field, I'm going to go with James Wood instead of Ramon Laureano or anything else. Okay? That's a massive upgrade. He's got 3.1 WAR. Got it? After that, it's kind of like, all right, here's all these bench guys that you traded away. Miguel Andujar signed a contract. I'm just going to keep him on the team as a sign. Jacob Marcy, Taylor Trammell, Gabriel Arias, Esteury Ruiz. These are all top prospects in your organization that you have traded away that are now on major league teams. Graham Pauley is also on that list. That team, position player-wise, has a 10.2 WAR. Not bad. Not bad. According to Fangraphs, the Padres' offensive WAR currently is a 10.8. So, at this point, it's relatively the same. Now, look at the pitching staff. Because this is what really hurts you with those trades, is because you talk about the Juan Soto trade. We could have CJ Abrams and we can have James Wood. Who's pitching for you? Your current staff of Michael King, Walker Buehler, Randy Vasquez, Griffin Canning, Mon Marquez, not very good. Your starting staff would be who? Mackenzie Gore, Ryan Weathers, Joey Cantillo, Robbie Snelling, Adam Major. Best guy on that list is actually Joey Cantillo. Joey Cantillo's got a 1.1 WAR this year. Joey Cantillo. He was part of the Clevenger deal. And again, I'm only going off of top prospects from 2020 on that have been traded away. If they weren't a top prospect, it's not part of the deal because the whole thing, right, Frank, is getting prospects.
Yeah.
Okay? So those are your guys. Ryan Bergert is out for the season. He's hurt. David Bednar, Wandy Peralta, because you signed him. Adrian Morahone came through your system. Bragley Rodriguez came.
Wait a second. Go back over that rotation.
Gore, Weathers, Cantillo, Snelling, Major. You could throw Stephen Kolek in there too. I have him on this roster. But
you honestly think that sounds better than what we have now?
Numbers wise, it's not better at all.
No, I'm saying Il619 in the chat thinks that sounds better than the rotation the Padres have now.
Michael King has a 1.9 WAR right now. The best pitcher on that list is Joey Cantillo. He's got a 1.1 WAR. Anyway, bullpen. Your closer would be David Bednar, it looks like. David Bednar, not a bad player. 30th best prospect in Padres organization when they traded him. 0.6 WAR. Wandy Peralta still on the team because you signed him. Adrian Morahone kept in the organization. Bragley Rodriguez kept in the organization. Stephen Kolek, you picked him up on a Rule 5 draft, right? So it's not like you traded for him. You would have kept him. He would have been solid. 0.5 WAR. It's not bad. Yuki Matsui would still be on the team. Kyle Hart, you signed. Jeremiah Estrada, David Morgan. Your bullpen would be, or your pitching staff would be a 7.3 WAR. Overall, your total WAR for that team is a 17.5. Do you know what the Padres' total WAR is right now on the season?
17.5.
17.5. It's the exact same.
Oh, well, there you go.
So again, everybody wants to talk about, Frank, we should have kept this guy. We should have kept that guy. We should have kept this guy. It's like, okay, well, if you did, it'd still be the same. And so when you talk about this, what you could potentially do at the trade deadline, the easy answer of, I'm going to trade Mason Miller for great prospects, unless you start telling me who these prospects are that you know, and you're going to put all your money on being good. You're like, this is the guy. I'm going all in on this guy. I'm so smart about baseball. This guy can't miss. I'll bet everything I got on it. You want to do that for me? Go ahead. Give me the list of the guys that you want prospect-wise that is going to make this team better in the future. Do it. If you could do that, fine. Great. Be great. But what I'm saying is here, just because what they're doing right now is not working doesn't mean they got to flip their plan over again. That's the whole point of this entire thing. Which leads to, what exactly does this team do right now? They're kind of in a pretty tough predicament, because if you buy, there's not enough out there to fix to make this team a World Series team, Frank. There's nothing out there.
No.
There's nothing out there. There's nothing out there that's going to make this current team a World Series caliber team. Nothing. So selling like Ethan Salas would be incredibly dumb. Getting rid of Cruz Schoolcraft or Cash Mayfield, also would be incredibly. It doesn't make any sense at this point of where you're at to make any of those moves. Also, from a selling point, you are trading for a dream. You are trading for this like futuristic hope of, we hope this guy can become very, very good. So you have a guarantee in what you have on your team, a Mason Miller. And then you have, I hope one of the 4 guys that we get back is a recurring all-star. Because in order to trade a guy like Mason Miller, what would you have to get back to make it worth it for you? I would have to get like a CJ Abrams back or a James Wood back, which they have to consistently show that they are the player that they are. But to me, unless you're getting back an all-star and you're going to get an all-star, there's really no reason to do that with the current setup you have, because you have these big contracts that you can't get your way out of it. So the easy fix of like sell. If you're going to say sell, start listing what you're going to sell for. Just saying like, hey, sell for good prospects. What does that mean? That's the whole argument that's the whole point I'm trying to make. It's easy just to say sell. Just get rid of these guys and bring in young prospects that are good. There's no guarantee that they're going to be good. In fact, with the team that you have currently assembled, because you can't trade Manny and you can't trade Xander and you really can't trade Fernando, you might be able to trade Jackson Merrill, but that's that young prospect that you decided to keep. I don't know why you would trade him. He's exactly what you were looking to trade for. What are you going to get? What are you going to get back? There's a lot of problems with this team, but I don't think like selling players off is going to necessarily save the team unless you're willing to just completely strip it down to the studs. Again, people get upset in the YouTube chat. They just get like all triggered and stuff like that because it goes against what they wanted to hear. But that's the reality of the situation. And I don't think it's that outlandish, Frank. I mean, who do you think you're going to get for some of these guys? Like, everybody has said, Michael King is inconsistent, and, we'd rather have this group, and, like, we need more pitchers. If he's so inconsistent, what team is going to give you one of their top 5 prospects for him when he can opt out of the contract at any point in time?
No, and I was arguing with a guy in the postgame chat. I went in there to see what was being said, and then I just saw this guy just railing on and on and on about trading Miller and this and that. It's like, bud, okay, no one's going to take the big contracts. No one's going to take Manny. No one's going to take Xander. No one's going to take Fernando. Oh, no one's talking about Fernando and Manny. Okay. So you don't want to rebuild, because in order to rebuild, you need to trade your core. So I'm like, how are you going to do this rebuild? Oh, you trade everyone else.
Like who?
I'm like,
right?
Okay.
Like Ty France. What are you going to get out of Ty France?
I'm like, okay, who's going to take Jake Cronenworth, batting $140, just spent a month and a half on the concussion IL, and is making $12 million a year for the next 5 years? Dude, no one's talking about Jake. Are you illiterate? Like, okay, you don't want to trade Manny. You don't want to trade Xander. You don't want to trade Jake. How are we doing this rebuild? So you just want to halfway do a rebuild. It's like, no, you got to fully tear it down, because that's how you end up in purgatory. How are you going to tear it all the way down if you're not trading any of these people? Like,
we need
come on.
We need to take a break, but like the other thing too is, they're kind of in a interesting spot as well with like the ownership change, because it hasn't become official from like Major League Baseball. They haven't officially approved it yet. I don't know what AJ Preller is really working with when you have an ownership group that is still in control, that is selling to a new ownership group that has been rumored to say we want to spend money and do things a little bit different. But until that like actually goes through, there's obviously a lot of moving parts to that. You don't know how much money AJ Preller has had for the last couple of years to work with. There's just so much going on that you don't even realize is happening behind the scenes. And here's the other thing too. You can't really do anything until the end of July anyway right now, because one, other teams are still relatively around in contention, and two, you can't just start trading players off at this point to other. You're kind of have to just wait and see what this team can do.
Really quick, someone in chat just said, "Eat Manny Machado's contract." Besides Power Act 12 Day yesterday, what was yesterday? Yesterday was Bobby Bonilla Day, something that everyone loves to make fun of the Mets for. Manny Machado's owed $40 million a year starting next year for the remainder of his contract. Are you really going to eat that? Is it not? Is it no longer going to be Bobby Bonilla Day? Is it going to be Manny Machado Day? Is that what it is? Is that really what you want?
It's too much emotion involved. 833-288-0973. 833-288-0973. There's a guy like on social media that like tweets at us every single day, every time the Padres lose. I'm waiting for him to call in. I'd love to hear what this guy has to say. I'd love for all of you in YouTube chat to call in. Give us a call. I'd love to talk to you guys. 833-288-0973. 833-288-0973. Talking Padres baseball as we continue here. Filling in for Bennett Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station 97 to the Fan. Southern California recruiting, officially a war zone again. USC, UCLA, Cal are all fighting to keep local talent home, but the rest of the country is not backing off. Oregon, Texas, Alabama, Notre Dame, they're all still coming into SoCal and landing elite prospects. And the biggest shift, UCLA. Suddenly one of the most aggressive recruiting programs in the region under new leadership, while USC is still leaning on its brand but facing much tougher competition. Add in NIL money and the transfer portal, and coaches say recruiting has completely changed. In Southern California, is SoCal still the heart of West Coast recruiting, or has it become the most competitive free-for-all in all of college football? For years, SoCal was the backbone of elite college football recruiting. Now it's becoming something different, a national battleground where everyone shows up and nobody can afford to miss. USC is trying to lock it down. UCLA is surging with new energy. Cal is rebuilding its presence, and national programs still flying in and taking elite talent every cycle. So is this area of the country that we're in still a home base for local programs, or has it become open territory for whoever recruits its best year to year? And to me, I mean, I look at this, and as somebody that coaches high school football here in San Diego, I think it's very difficult to try to keep as many of these kids in town as possible. I know a lot of Aztec fans always go, we got to try to keep our best here in San Diego. It's hard to do that when you have the likes of Ohio State and Georgia and Alabama and Texas and Notre Dame and Oregon, and a lot of schools that can pay for a lot of money when they come in and can get a lot of these kids. Plus, on top of it, I think it's hard to sell local schools here to kids that are going to go to college in comparison to what it's like to be in a college town when you become the biggest show in the state. Where in California, college athletics is not like that.
No, it's not. And like you hear from recruiters, from high school coaches around the county, and you're around a lot of them, that this is starting to become a battleground, a real true battleground, that SoCal has not been this intense as far as recruiting in years. And looking at a school like USC, coaches across the region still view USC as the most recognizable brand in Southern California, but opinions are split on how they're operating. Some coaches say USC has improved its focus under new leadership and recruiting operations, especially locking down elite West Coast talent, and being more direct about conversations in NIL, but others still think that they're still leaning and still coasting on that reputation that they built. So for USC, this is a fight, especially for them, of you're at the top, we're going after you. And for USC, it's how do we stay at the top as far as the local schools and local programs are concerned.
I disagree with the most recognizable brand
No,
recruiting.
it's not.
And it's not. I don't think, some coaches might think that they're living in the past. I mean, the reality is, when USC was in its heyday, like even before Reggie Bush, right?
Mhm.
Like all of the kids growing up like, oh, USC, and like they were the dominant West Coast figure. And after the recruiting violations that they got sent the hit with after the Reggie Bush stuff, it set them back so far that, I look at even kids that are 25, they're out of college now. They were born in 2001. They don't remember Reggie Bush.
Mhm.
Those are 25-year-olds. What do you think about like 14 to 18-year-olds now? Who do they think about on the West Coast for football in the last
Oregon now.
Oregon. It's Oregon. Oregon's like the top school. USC keeps living in the early 2000s and in the 80s and 90s, and the Marcus Allens and the OJ Simpsons and Reggie Bush and the Carson Palmers, and USC has had to use NIL and pay to try to get kids this way. And this is coming from a coach too, by the way, that has a USC commit on our team, right? Now that kid's kind of like very 90s anyway, like, so it doesn't surprise me that he'd be in on USC, but it's been a long time since like the, Junior Seau of the, of the time, and some of these local guys staying. And here's the other thing. I wonder if this is part of the equation, because LA has always been SC football over the pro teams, but now you got NFL teams in LA. Like, is USC still like the most popular thing in LA in the fall?
UCLA is starting to come up on the rise as well. They've got a new regime coming in. High school coaches are saying that that UCLA has been more aggressive and more energetic than USC has been in recruiting these kids. They're more staff are going to games, stronger relationship with players and coaches, more transparency, increased out-of-state recruiting success, and a noticeably higher energy at practices and visits. So UCLA, especially now, as you mentioned, for the kids that don't really know of or care about the USC success, UCLA is nipping at their heels as well.
Yeah, but it's moving slow. They're still close to the late to the party group. And again, just from experience, kids aren't thinking about UCLA. They're kind of thinking about SC now with some of the money in Lincoln Riley. Ben and Woods. You can hear more of this show later on today as we'll go word for word everything that we said in the morning.
Yep. It's a talent that we have.
We're very talented, extremely talented. Speaking of talent, people that call in, that join our show are incredibly talented as well. They join us on the SDCCU fan hotline. It's not Big Bank Banking. It's better. We are talking baseball, as we usually do. And baseball coverage on 97 to the Fan is presented by Xfinity. Score the most reliable Wi-Fi. One price, 5 years guaranteed. Xfinity. Imagine that. 833-288-0973. 833-288-0973.
Happy Daniel Camarena Day for those
Daniel Camarena Day.
Now, for those of you who don't remember, back in January, on the 7th of January, 1-7, Major League Baseball needed to shoehorn a way to talk about Shohei Ohtani on the network. So they made January 7, 1-7, Shohei Ohtani Day, because he wears number 17. We decided to pick up on that, and now every day is a different Padre for their uniform number. Today's Daniel Camarena Day or Bradley Rodriguez Day. Happy, by the way, unfortunately missed Hunter Renfroe Day yesterday, Josh Hader Day, who else? Logan Gillespie Day. So happy Daniel Camarena Day today for those who celebrate.
Happy Daniel Camarena Day. Okay. Let's get to the phones if we can. How many we got? We got Kathy in LA?
Yes.
833-288-0973. 833-288-0973. Let's get out to Kathy in Los Angeles. Kathy, what's going on?
Hi,
Kathy, what's going on?
Hey guys, it's so funny because listening to the comments of people, I hear the exact same comments coming from callers into Royals baseball as well. And of course, their record is way worse than the Padres record. But their starting pitching, they've had a lot more good starts than our starting pitching, but their bullpen is the complete opposite of our bullpen, which is why they've lost so many games. So, it's all about what you have sometimes, and so when people say, "Oh, we need to do this and we need to do that," but it's like what you were saying. Well, what do you get for it? You got to do the other side of the equation, and you can't just magically say, "Oh, well, you need to trade this, you need to trade that." It's like, well, then what are you going to get?
Yeah, it's just, you can't just have arbitrary situations of like this is why anybody that has the argument of trading for a prospect they love throwing that argument out there because it's so open-ended. It could be whatever. It could be the worst. It could be a player that never pans out. It could be an all-star. It literally could be anything you want it to be. It's imaginary. Imagination. It's literally trading for mythical creatures. They could turn out to be awesome. They could turn out to be nothing. You could get a Fernando Tatis Jr. You could get a Corey Spangenberg. You could get either or. It's really like playing let's make a deal. Behind one side could be Jared Kelenic. Behind the other one could be Fernando. I hope you picked the right one. But to me, it's like, just because, look, I agree with everybody that says that this team currently assembled is not a World Series caliber team. They're not. I think that's pretty. I don't think it's that crazy to say that this team, as assembled right now, is not good enough to win a World Series. But what are you going to get back from some of these guys? I mean, just to say you got something back and like hoping for something it's a waste. You might as well just let the guys play on the team.
What's the downside of selling guys who's going to free agency? No, not really. At least you get something back for them if you can. Here's the big problem, though, especially from your point of view. Mason Miller's not going to free agency. Mason Miller is under control for another 3 years. You get the best closer in baseball for well below market value.
Let's talk about the free agents, right? The guys that are free agents next year, who you're potentially going to trade, right? I mean, what are you going to get? Like, is it better to get a 20th best prospect in some organization, or is it better to just let the guy just keep the guy on the team? Because again, your free agents next year are Ramon Laureano. He's not getting traded. Nobody wants him. Walker Buehler, Ty France. Your mutual option guys who are basically going to be free agents. Miguel Andujar, Lucas Giolito, Griffin Canning. Okay. Your other free agents are Jason Adam, who everybody in this, people don't like him anymore. Adrian Morejon. Morejon's not a bad trade piece. And then after that, that's about it. So what are you going to get for any of those players? Seriously. Who are you going to get? I would love to know what people think they're going to get for trading away these players. I mean, you could trade them just to say like, hey, we traded him. But if you're not going to get anything back that's worth it, you might as well just keep him on the team. Like, this is a different situation than the Angels and Shohei Ohtani, where the Angels were like, we'd just rather have him be on the team than get anything back in return. Shohei Ohtani could have got you a Jackson Merrill. It could have got you Caminario from Tampa. Those are the other rumor. I mean, you're going to get a haul for a guy like Shohei Ohtani. You're not getting that for Ty France. You're not getting that for. You're just getting a random player in the minor leagues that's probably, if you're lucky, ranked in their top 30 prospects. And again, you got to trade them to a team that actually is competing to win. And they have to fit on a team that's winning. At that point, you might as well just, I mean, it's 6 one way, half a dozen another. It's basically net neutral. So why even trade it in the first place? That's what I'm saying. It's like, just hope that you found like some diamond in the rough for trading some of these guys. I mean, I'd rather just, unless the team is like, if they're as far out as the division right now, if they're as far out of the wild card as they are out of the division right now at the trade deadline, yeah, sure, go ahead. Just to appease fans. But if they're within 2 games, I'd rather just see what the team could do. I'd rather just not do anything. To me, I'm at the point right now, since you can't really trade too much, that I wouldn't do anything at the trade deadline. If you stand pat, it's probably your best option. And I would trade for guys that have maybe some control, and I would use the trade deadline as my offseason. That's what I would do at the trade deadline. Try to use the trade deadline as an offseason. I would rather watch Michael King and Walker Buehler play for the next two months than take some kid that is probably not going to amount to anything.
Who you may not ever see.
Right. Just to say I traded for somebody. I mean, what's the point? Like, seriously, what's the point? I mean, if neither's gonna get you anything, I would rather just do that. If I was be the general manager, which I'm not, this would be a stand pat. This would be a stand pat trade deadline. And as in any debate, once you say to the other person, you're wrong, you've lost your debate. Number 1 rule in debating. Look it up. YouTube chat. 833-288-0973. 833-288-0973. When we come back, let's talk more about the Padres situation. And obviously, this weekend's going to be a little rough, I would say. But who knows? We'll see what the Padres have in store. Braden Surprenant Show, Standing as Number Sports Station 97.3 The Fan. The NFL just flipped over half of its coordinator jobs this offseason, and the 2026 season might be decided by which new hires survive the chaos. In Buffalo, Jim Leonard is completely reshaping a defense that's been McDermott built for years. In Washington, David Blau is trying to merge 2 opposite offensive systems into one identity. Fast tempo meets pro-style structure. That's either genius or a disaster waiting to happen. Baltimore's Declan Doyle is calling plays for Lamar Jackson in a complex, wordy offense that leaves almost no room for error. In Denver, Davis Webb is trying to speed up Sean Payton's system to help Bo Nix play faster and cleaner. And in Dallas, Christian Parker isn't trying to dominate. He's just trying to make the defense average, which might be enough with that offense. In today's NFL, coordinators don't just call plays. They decide whether a contender stays alive or falls apart. So it asks the question, which coordinator change will have the biggest impact of the 2026 NFL season, and which one is most likely to fail under pressure? Let's start with the positive impacts first. So we talked about, Jim Leonard's going to be the new DC in Buffalo. They have David Blau and Durante Jones as new coordinators in Washington for the offense and the defensive side. Baltimore has Declan Doyle as a new OC for Lamar Jackson. Denver Broncos have Davis Webb as an OC, and Dallas Cowboys are going with Christian Parker as a defensive coordinator. You throw in Brian Fleury, maybe, who's a new offensive coordinator for Seattle, Mike Ruttenberg as a DC in Cleveland. Who is going to be the most impactful? To me, I feel like it's somebody that's going to have an opportunity to work with a head coach that already kind of is built in and knows his stuff too as a coordinator. And the one that sticks out to me is the collaboration of ideas between Sean Payton and Davis Webb, because Sean Payton has proven he could be a great OC. He's done it everywhere that he has been. A great offensive mind. He has had great offenses in the past. And maybe it's a little bit of trying to incorporate youth of Davis Webb to enhance a Bo Nix if he is able to play, or the offense that they have. So I think it's a very subtle shift in Denver, but I do think it matters because the offense wasn't really slow in Denver, but it wasn't maximizing its pre-snap advantage either. And I think Davis Webb can help elevate Sean Payton and what he does up there in Denver. So for me, that's like the biggest pairing that makes the most sense and what could have the biggest impact.
And that's something that you can also take a look at, is that Davis, that is a complex offense that Sean Payton likes to run out there in Denver. And for Davis Webb, really would help Bo Nix to be able to streamline that a little bit, make it a little bit easier, make it a little bit quicker to call, less wordy play calls. The huddles are quicker. The communication is more on point and more direct to what you want. So, yeah, I honestly would not be surprised if that turns out to be the best pairing out of the ones that we've listed so far.
And we've had so many just changes this year. 64 coordinator jobs exist in the National Football League, and more than half of them turned over this offseason. 21 new offensive coordinators, 14 new DCs. That's changing more than playbooks. I mean, it's like identities, timelines, in some cases, entire franchise directions. And obviously, a lot of these are not rebuilding jobs either. I mean, the other intriguing ones too. So like the Broncos aren't a rebuilding job, and I think that one makes it a little bit easier. The other two that are on this list here for me that stick out that could be improvements, but they were like not as high to me as the Davis Webb situation. Like Jim Leonard's a good DC. I mean, he spent some time, obviously he was a former NFL player not too long ago, went to Wisconsin, was the DB's coach, turned himself into DC, became the interim head coach at Wisconsin for a little bit before he went to Illinois. And then worked in Denver and had put together some good defenses as an assistant in Denver. He gets a good opportunity with the Bills, but also like the Bills have players and they've been running Sean McDermott stuff for a long time. Maybe a quick, sometimes you see a slight change with good rosters turn defenses or offenses in even a better unit. So that one was another one on there. And as we mentioned earlier with the Dallas Cowboys, Christian Parker doesn't need to make the defense elite. He just has to make them like decent, because that defense was terrible last year. And if the Cowboys have a decent defense last year, the offense with Dak Prescott and the weapons they have are good enough to do a lot of damage. And Christian Parker runs a Vic Fangio style scheme, light blitzing, 2 high safeties, a lot of zone coverage designed to funnel plays underneath. Not very flashy, but it's very stable. And with that, I think they can also have success.
You also have the Seattle Seahawks, too, that we mentioned before. They've got a new offensive coordinator in Brian Fleury. Kubiak looked like he really figured out Jackson Smith and Jigba, getting him near 1,800 yards receiving. And now Fleury has to find a way to keep that going. And also, you're the offensive coordinator for the reigning defending Super Bowl champions. So it's definitely, that is one of the bigger jobs and one of the bigger changes that we've mentioned here.
I think that's one of the tweener ones between our two questions of like who can have the best impact and then what could be a potential disaster. The Seahawks are good enough and they just won a Super Bowl that I don't think it's going to turn into a disaster overnight. Now they're going to play a tougher schedule than they've done, right? They're going to play a first place schedule, reigning Super Bowl champions, but they still have a lot of good players. So it's going to be really hard to screw that up, even though you might see maybe some regression. There's a big reason why Clint Kubiak was so highly sought out for during this offseason, which leads us to the ones that could be a disaster. And to me, the biggest one is and I look at two, and they're both kind of in the same area. It's Washington and Baltimore. Like Washington, their experiment's going to be interesting because you have David Blau, who's 30 years old. Broadcasting live from the Bill House Studios, we know how. He's Frank Marchese. I'm Braden Surprenant. We're the Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. I love to be able to make deals via hindsight. The YouTube chat today is crazy, Frank. Crazy.
People ask me why I stay inside. It's part of the reason why.
I mean, somebody in there was like, the Dodgers like cranked out all these, all of these great young prospects. How come the Padres can't do that? I don't know, man. Do I need to do the whole thing where like they have like they have like $1 billion to like spend on their roster, and they have $1 billion to develop players, and they can write checks to make their problems go away? It's like, yeah, you can't compare yourself to that team. You're not playing by the same rules. You don't have the same resources as those teams.
The graphics outside are nice. NPCs are a little broken, though. Graphics, though, on point.
On point. I already did the exercise of like you didn't make any trades, like what your roster would look like, and the team is relatively around the same team WAR as you currently have. I mean, it's just like, come on, guys. And again, like, here's the other thing, too. People get so offended by it. It's like, we're trying to help you, like, learn a little bit about what's going on behind the scenes and what's actually happening instead of just, like, throwing stuff out in the ether. Right? Better baseball fans, better knowledge of what's going on. But to just, you can't make emotional decisions after games. It's just, you can't do it. You're going to be a bad franchise if that's the case. Just because doesn't look great. Right? This team's not very good right now. Absolutely not. But I tell you what, what's not going to make it better? Just like saying random things like, let's just trade everybody. Can we send Merrill down to the minors? Yep, that's probably going to help this team. Why don't we bat guys lower in the order like the Dodgers do with Kyle Tucker? I don't know, man. They can put Mookie Betts up there. They have everybody in their roster can hit in the top 3. You're gonna move Rodolfo Duran up in the order? Come on. Again, they have a lot of problems. I think a lot of them are internal that they have to fix themselves. I don't necessarily think like trading for a brand new roster is going to drastically fix said problems. And as mentioned before, Frank, I've already seen today people go like, this guy's doing well, used to be a Padre. This guy's doing well. That guy's doing well. This guy's doing well. Why don't we keep these guys? You know who's going to be having that same conversation in 2 to 3 years if you decide to trade all these players away, Frank? Like, why did we trade Michael King? Why did we trade this guy? Why did we trade that guy? Why didn't we keep this guy? Be like that every time. All right, let's transition away from that. Let's get to today's sports thread. What else is going on in the sports world?
You know that group chat? The one that's always blowing up with the biggest sports takes, debates, and breaking news?
You got barbecue back there, and you didn't invite me?
Yeah, we've got that too. Welcome to the Sports Thread, where we break down the top 5 stories in sports, just like you would with your crew.
Oh, no! Disaster! What a bad idea!
No filters, no silence, just real talk.
All right, Frank, what we got going on today?
Big trade in the NBA yesterday.
Number 1.
Interdivision trade as the Boston Celtics have shaken up the NBA by trading Jaylen Brown to the Philadelphia 76ers in exchange for Paul George, 2 first-round picks, and 2 second-round picks. Brown departs Boston after helping lead the franchise to an NBA championship and winning Finals MVP, while Philadelphia lands another superstar to join Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey. The blockbuster deal dramatically shifts the landscape of the Eastern Conference and signals both franchises are taking very different approaches to chasing a championship. Which team won this draft? The Celtics for retooling with Paul George and future picks, or the Sixers for acquiring Jaylen Brown?
I don't know. Paul George is not very good. Nothing the 76ers do really is that big of it. It usually works out for them. It's not trading for picks. It's what you do with the draft picks in the NBA. So I'm going to lean more towards the Celtics on this one just because the Boston Celtics seem to be doing things a lot better than the 76ers. Trust the process. Has that worked out yet for the 76ers?
No, it has not. It's worked out for everyone else in the division. It hasn't worked out for Philadelphia, though.
Number 2.
The Detroit Lions have released cornerback Terrion Arnold following his arrest on multiple felony charges. We talked about this last week, including armed robbery and kidnapping. Arnold was released on $1 million bond, but faces strict conditions as prosecutors continue pursuing the case while maintaining he played a key role in orchestrating the alleged crimes. Although Arnold denies the allegations, Detroit chose to move on immediately, leaving a significant hole in its secondary just weeks before the season begins. Did the Lions make the right decision by releasing Arnold before his case is resolved, or should teams wait until the process plays out?
I mean, at this point, it doesn't really seem very good for Terrion Arnold. No. The NFL teams do definitely know what's going on a little bit on certain things, and at this point, the Lions probably need to distance themselves.
Yeah, they
on top of the fact that, and this is what nobody ever wants to hear, this is how teams operate. It's whether or not, it's sad. I'm not saying this is right. I want to make that perfectly clear. But a lot of teams value, is this guy more valuable than his baggage? And when that equation does not compute, you go away. That's kind of they'd probably wait a little bit longer. But probably a good idea to cut bait with this guy and not have him part of your organization.
Is the juice worth the squeeze?
Stop it. Foul.
Foul. No, 2 fouls.
You got it. You gave yourself a tech for that?
Yeah, that was worth it.
Fair enough.
Number 3.
Get hard fouls. We take hard fouls here.
Is today technically a foul out Friday?
Sure. Why not?
Might as well.
Despite another disappointing season, New York Mets owner Steve Cohen says president of baseball operations David Stearns isn't going anywhere. Just days after firing Carlos Mendoza, Cohen reaffirmed his commitment to Stearns, saying the organization won't burn and churn through front office leadership despite missing expectations. With the Mets well out of playoff position, the pressure now shifts to Stearns to prove that he can turn the franchise back into a contender. Is Steve Cohen right to stay patient with Stearns, or should the Mets front office be held just as accountable as the manager for the disappointing season?
Why would you be patient with that guy? You have unlimited funds. It's different. Like, all these situations are different. For the Mets, they have unlimited funds. They can write checks out of problems. They could literally they could do everything. They're the only team that can do everything LA can do. Them and the Yankees. That's it. Yet they decided to bring in a guy from the Brewers. They wanted to be the rich Brewers is what they wanted to be. They should clean house over there. Because as bad as we think the Padres are, and despite them losing 2 out of 3 to the Mets, they're still the Mets. Yeah. What's your question?
No, I was just saying, look over here. It can be worse, and it is.
It can't be worse.
The most insulting thing that Cohen said, though, was, does he not get credit for 2024? No, because that was Billy Epler's team. That was not Stearns' team.
San Diegan, Billy Epler. He's Frank Marquez. I'm Braden Surprenant. You hear us every day from 10 to 2. That was our sports thread. You can hear it every day at 11:50. Back in the next hour.
sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
We're your favorite show's favorite show.
This is the Braden Surprenant Show.
Think about the children. The family show.
Now, here's Braden Surprenant.
What's up, San Diego? Braden Surprenant Show, live and local each every day from 10 to 2 on the morning this morning. You guys miss out on our show. You're getting the first taste of it as you drive to work this morning. Early risers out there. We are on each and every day from 10 to 2. You can follow us on social media at @B_SURP. You can follow the show at @B_SURP show. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel. We broadcast live on YouTube every single day. YouTube.com/@B_SURP. We have that going on right now. We have a YouTube chat over there as well. We got memberships over there also. Please subscribe if you want. We got a lot of extra content we like to play during our commercial breaks on YouTube that we then post as YouTube videos online. Be sure to do that. We got new shirts that are out as well. We have links to it on our Braden Surprenant Show page for YouTube. Again, I'm rocking the blue and orange one today. Again, it's so soft. Feels so nice.
Yeah, I still have the brown one from last year. That's incredibly soft.
Same material.
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
I got the OTL ones coming in today. The frog looking one, the purple ones, and then I made some red and gold ones because might as well wear it at practice.
Yeah,
not get a fine for that.
McDonald's.
Maybe I will. Yeah, and you know what? United States Marines.
That too. Yeah,
red and gold. But anyway,
just repping my nation. What do you mean?
Yeah, what do you mean, bro? So anyway, go on and do that. We got some cool shirts. They flash up on the YouTube page on ours, like during the show. There's also a link in the YouTube chat below if you want to help support the show. We really appreciate all of you guys for doing that. Yeah, we got we will be giving out a discount code this weekend for all of the members over there. Nate's gifted a lot of memberships for the Braden Surprenant Show.
That is a good idea for this weekend to have like a 4th of July sale with the membership code natural casings.
Nat casings. Might have to do that. Anyway, 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. If you want to join the show today, hash it out. Look, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that what the Padres are doing right now is good, because it's not. It's not good. They had the worst loss in franchise history yesterday. Absolutely the worst. There's not a lot of sugarcoating that can be done. We can't really polish the turd right now that is the Padres. It's just they're not very good. They're not playing well. They have a lot of talent, but again, as we mentioned all week, it just feels like, Frank, we're doing the same show every single day.
Yep.
Starting pitching, can't get to 5 innings. Offense, kind of too little, too late. Can't hit with runners in scoring position, despite the fact that in the last 2 weeks, they have the 8th best average in OPS in Major League Baseball. Bullpen is just ready to explode right now because of all the work they've had to do. This is the same day every single day. The only difference yesterday is the Padres ended up giving up 23 runs this time instead of anything else. That was the only change in yesterday compared to all the other games that we've talked about, is they just got their ass kicked.
That block PAT, though, was crucial. We're not going to lie. That was a big one.
Aztecs blocked the PAT against Northwestern. They took it all the way back to the 2. They couldn't get the 2-point play back. They got tackled at the 2-yard line. Good thing they blocked the PAT, though.
Yeah.
Gave you a false sense of hope. It's not great, Bob. There's not a lot going on. And right now, they're even in a bigger predicament because of the fact that they're in no man's land right now when it comes to the deadline. They're not good enough where you get to the deadline, it's like, hey, let's add a piece or two. No. What is that going to do? It's not going to do anything.
Is K&G in the room with us?
I hope not. Because when I got here this morning, there was not a single soul in this building.
I think he asked for it. Should we?
No, well, we'll get there in a second. Adam's here. Look, Adam showed up.
Well, more than one person.
Maybe that's his burner. We found Adam's burner. Anyway, like I said, it is. What are you gonna? as much as I said, what are you going to give if you sell? What are you going to do if you buy? I mean, this is the problem with the Padres. They're not in a let's sell and then redo our entire roster. Let's sell and rebuild the farm system. They're not at that point of their situation, not with the contracts that they have. They're also not at a point where it's like, hey, let's buy an arm and a bat and let's let it ride. That's also not very good. They honestly should probably just sit back at the trade deadline. And if they want to add something that's a player that's under control for 3 or 4 years, or if they want to add a spot that's going to spend money, because the only thing that we've heard about the Padres at the trade deadline, Frank, is they're willing to add payroll, which I don't necessarily know if that's worth it anyway. But if that's the case, I would imagine that's probably the only type of move that they are going to make. I don't think they can, nor do I think they will trade an Ethan Salas or even one of their top pitching prospects, even though they're years away. I kind of agree with what Tony Wood Jr. was saying the other day. You got to be thinking about guys that might have some not great contracts, and new ownership wants to just write a check to just bring a guy like that in. But I don't necessarily know if that's helping you long term. Neil
Pataki in the chat has a very interesting comment. Braden, you cannot say out of one side of your mouth that the Mets need to clean house, and on the other side say the Padres need to stand still.
Yes, I can. They're different teams.
Do you know what the Mets are doing right now?
What are the Mets doing?
They are currently sitting. Let me get this right, because the last I saw it might have changed. They might have added another loss to it. Let me see here. Standings. Yep, they'd have. The Mets are 15 games under 500. Under 500. They had a manager who is in his third season, honestly should not have even gotten this far, and the general manager has proven nothing but pure incompetence. You, as a Padre fan, are sitting a game over 500 with a brand new manager who's learning on the job still, and a general manager who has a track record for making some of the boldest moves at the trade deadline to get and keep this team in contention. That's why you can say Mets have to burn it down and the Padres have to stand still.
Could you imagine what AJ Preller would do if he had the Mets funds?
You know what? You're right. Please get rid of AJ. I'll take him. I'll take him right now. I would not complain a second.
That's the other thing too. It's like when you decide to get rid of players or other members of the organization, would you be willing for them to play against you on your rival? If the answer is yes, then you probably want to get rid of them. If the answer is no, they probably have some ability still. Like, what do you think who does everybody hate right now in the Padres? Everyone, right? If you were to put them on the Dodgers, what do you think they would do? Do you think they would suck? Do you think they'd be bad? What's the big fear of all Padres fans? You trade somebody away and then he ends up on the Dodgers, he kicks your ass for a century? Seriously, for everybody that wanted to trade, I don't think there's as many people that want to trade Jackson Merrill as the dark web does. But would you be okay with Jackson Merrill playing for the Dodgers against you? I wouldn't. Would you be okay with Fernando playing for the Dodgers against you? I wouldn't. I honestly wouldn't like seeing Xander Bogaerts or Manny Machado on the Dodgers playing against you.
And you've already seen one of them.
Yeah. I don't think about that. Anybody else in this team you want to see play against you? I mean, I would I be upset if Chase Bowen was on the Dodgers? Not really. Of course, some of those players, but
according to the chat, I mean, everyone turns into Barry Bonds against the Padres. So,
right? I saw somebody earlier was they said in the YouTube chat, they were like, They traded for Freddie for me, and it just like everybody else, they turn to garbage once they come to the Padres. It's like, okay, well then why would you trade for prospects then? If everybody that comes here just turns to garbage, does it really matter what the guys at that point? You're just trading for names at that point. Again, I've said, like, right now, I don't necessarily know if you can buy anything because I don't think it's going to help. I don't necessarily know if you could sell anything because it's not going to help. I think the same thing about firing coaches. I mean, right now, if you're to fire some coaches on the staff, what does it accomplish? Like, seriously, like, what is it? Do you think it's going to make the players play better? I mean, maybe a different voice changes the way the offense plays. But guess what, Frank? The offense actually has not been very bad in the last 2 weeks.
No, it hasn't.
They've been the top 10 in baseball in the last 2 weeks. So the offense is starting to turn it around.
And yes, 15 games under 500 or 3 games over, if neither are making the playoffs, it does matter. Perception. You were at least close. You had a shot and you missed. If you're 15 games under, you're wasting time. That's all you're doing. If you're 15 games under 500, you are wasting time.
So again, like, if you think about where you're at right now, they're in the worst spot now because now they're in the no man's land spot. And again, with the way that the roster is built, this is not. Here's the other thing too. I think we're used to when the Padres have been bad in the past, Frank. They've been able to trade guys away and get prospects back. I don't necessarily know if that's the case when you have all these contracts that are very big that nobody wants.
No, you don't.
And most of these guys have no trade clauses. Seriously, not going to get to that point. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Let's get out to Kevin in Chula Vista. Kevin, what's going on?
Well, I watched that entire game yesterday, man. So
God bless you, Kevin. You didn't turn that off at all. You stuck through that entire game.
Gentlemen, I stick through every single game. Win, lose, draw, forfeit, you name it.
Oh my, Kevin! I know. You know what, man? I know you're active in the community down there in Chula Vista. I've seen you be active on the local news and everything like that. So I can't say you don't have any hobbies, but there was nothing else. There was that one point you're like, you know what? Maybe I should work in my garden. Maybe I should do something a little bit that Kevin and Chula Vista like. You stuck through that entire thing?
You could have gotten some of my potholes fixed.
Yeah, come on, man.
Hey, look, when you've been at this since 1969, right? That's, I'm old enough to be your dad or granddad, whatever, like many of us are. You get used to this because this is just another year, a little bit different names, but, it's the Padres, man. So this is what we're accustomed to. And someday you guys, if you're lucky enough to get up to our ages, you'll understand. But right now, what we're in is a real mess that we can't get out of. I've said it before. I'll say it again. This is what we signed up for with the big contracts in Win Now. Win Now never really happened, did it? It really didn't. We were expecting World Series, didn't get it. And when you look at the meltdowns that this team has had, 21, 23 years, 2 in particular, the common denominator is these same players that we have now were mostly here, and they're doing it again. So the one disagreement I'll have with you, Braden, and maybe Frank, is that I don't think this is a talented team, because a talented team doesn't do what this team does. It just doesn't. And the holes are many, the solutions are few. So I agree with your take that there's no simple one-answer solution. You can't wait for the trade deadline and think that, there's just one guy, 2 guys out there that are going to make this roster a World Series contender. This roster, in my opinion, your eyes don't lie. It is very, very far away from becoming a World Series contender, which is where we're going. That's what we want. It's a long way away. 1 or 2 players are not going to fix this thing. And we're stuck in a mess. I don't know what the answer is. It's been suggested by some that maybe they ought to declare bankruptcy, and therefore they don't have to pay the contracts only on pennies on the dollar. Maybe that's the only way out of this thing. But it certainly is, there's no simple one answer, two answer solution that's right down the road here that's going to fix this. This is what it is. The future came early. We didn't think this was going to happen until 2030, maybe 2029. It's here now. And this is what you're stuck with. This is what we wanted. This is what we got. Everybody just lay back, enjoy paying the high prices to go to Petco Park. This is what you got. Dads.
Thank you for the phone call, Kevin. There's a couple of things he said that I dig, and there's a couple of things he said that I don't. The one thing that's important that he said, and we've said this multiple times, when you sign guys to big contracts because you want these players on your team, here's like the whole cycle. If you want a Manny Machado type player, if you want a Xander Bogaerts type player, if you want, a big name guy that San Diego for years never had, you have to give them a big dollar figure. That's how this works, right? Frank, you follow me so far?
Yeah.
In order for the Padres to be able to afford said dollar figure, they have to spread it out over a lot of years because they don't have the luxury of just loading it up on a 3-year deal and give them like $50 million a year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which means you got to sign these guys to massive contracts. And the risk you take is, okay, we are going to do this. We're really paying for about 5 years of Manny Machado at like whatever the money was going to cost. Okay, so let's just talk about his original contract. He had a 10-year, $300 million deal, right? If I'm correct, yeah. Okay? So he had a 10-year, $300 million deal, $30 million a year. And you're essentially paying the $300 million for like the 5 years of his, quote, prime years of that contract. Because that's what it takes to get that guy on your team. So you were paying the $60 million a year. You were just spreading it out over 10 years. And I'm not talking about the extension. The whole contract extension to Manny Machado was a major flaw for this team. And I know there was pressure there to keep him on the team. I know he kind of like was being vague going into spring training that year. That whole situation was rough. But if you're talking about the original contract, that original contract was not bad. So you're spending the $60 million for the 5 years, the first 5 years of his deal, and you're spreading it out over 10 years. That's what you have to do to get a guy like Manny Machado. So when you do that contract, you're going all in for those 5 years, hoping you win a World Series, right? But that's not a guarantee for anybody. Because once you get to the playoffs, you have no idea what's going to happen in Major League Baseball. Nationals won in 2019. The Rangers won in 2023. It just kind of happens. They put together some winning seasons, which is a lot better than what the Padres have had before that. They've accomplished a lot. They've gone to the playoffs 3 out of the last 4 years. That's way better than anything they've done in the past. So to say that they haven't been winning would be nonsense. They are winning. I mean, if you make the playoffs 3 of the last 4 years, you are winning games. You are winning baseball seasons. Only one's going to be able to win a World Series. But the risk you take is seasons like this. This is the risk you take when you make those decisions. So if you want the big stars, which I think a lot of people do, that's what you got. If you want a team like the 2010 Padres where you have some young players and whatever, that's great too. But guess what? In order to keep those guys, you have to do what if they're really good, Frank?
Pay them.
You have to pay them. And what do you have to pay them? A massive contract. So, again, this is why I make the comparison all the time, because people go like, why can't we be the Brewers? Oh, another team that doesn't win a World Series? I mean, they do exactly the other thing. They let guys walk. Atlanta lets guys walk. I mean, We got Padres fans that are still upset that they didn't re-sign Kyle Higashioka. I mean, could you imagine if you just did the whole thing with like Jackson Merrill, right? And that's the process we're going to start. It's like we're going to pay this guy nothing. We're going to have him super cheap, but when he turns 26 and he's available, we're just going to let him walk. Like, those are your two paths. Neither of them guarantee you a World Series. Which path are you taking? And right now, everybody's going to say, oh, the one where I have young players and then everybody like walks away, like, because that's not what your team is right now. We have to take a quick break. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. We'll give you our World Cupdate when we come back. Drake Hills joins us at 8:35. We have a update on Over the Line. In the 9 o'clock hour, we'll get to that with a member of OnBack. Over the Line is not this weekend, but the next. Should be a fun time here in San Diego. Frank and I will be out there hanging out at Over the Line in a couple of weeks. So we'll get the full breakdown from OnBack of what to expect from Over the Line. A lot to get to still on the Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego Summer Sports Station 97 through the Fan. Shane Van Gisbergen, SVG. Come on. Did anybody else think? You didn't think we were going to talk about anybody else when they go to Sonoma? He's obviously making NASCAR history every time the Cup Series hits a road course. This weekend, he backed up last year's Sonoma win with another victory, holding off Chase Briscoe in an incredible final lap battle. That's 8 Cup Series wins in just 68 starts, tying Tony Stewart for the second most road course wins in NASCAR history, trailing only Jeff Gordon. SVG did not stop there. He also swept the weekend by winning Saturday's Xfinity Series, O'Reilly Series race, providing once again that he's the driver to beat whenever the track starts turning left and right. Meanwhile, Denny Hamlin leaves Sonoma with a Cup Series points lead after Tyler Reddick suffered mechanical issues and was knocked out of NASCAR's new in-season challenge tournament over in Formula One. George Russell held off Max Verstappen to win the Austrian Grand Prix and move back into second in the championship standings. It's been another huge weekend across the motorsports world, and the championship battles are only heating up. SVG continues his road course reign.
Yep, the biggest story in motorsports this week belongs to Shane Van Gisbergen, who is continues proving that when NASCAR hits a road course, everyone else is racing for second. SVG captured his second consecutive NASCAR Cup Series victory at Sonoma, holding off Chase Briscoe in a thrilling final lap battle. Briscoe got within inches of the rear bumper of SVG entering the final hairpin, but could not complete the pass, giving SVG his 8th Cup Series victory in just 68 career starts, all of them coming on road courses. The win could not have come at a better time after last week's disappointment in Coronado, where he was collected in a multi-car crash early. Instead of letting that setback linger, he responded immediately, just as champions do.
We saw the in-season challenge tournament happen. For those of us that don't know it as much, it's brand new though, Frank. And before we tell you the results, what is the in-season challenge tournament, and why do they do it?
The in-season challenge tournament is effectively the same thing as the new NBA challenge tournament. The in-season tournament that came out. It's basically the drivers are matched in points in a bracket style. So if you're first place in points, you're first seed, second place, second seed, third, and so on and so forth. And you're pitted against drivers, and whoever, if you finish ahead of that driver, you advance in this completely meaningless in-season tournament. But other than that, yeah, it's basically just that you beat the driver that you're paired with. If you do, you advance. If not, you don't.
How many of these drivers are that into this right now? I mean, are they like? I guess the competitive juices are going, but
they're into it.
Is Tyler Reddick super upset that he's got eliminated from this thing?
They're into it as a gag. They're into it as a joke. Like Ryan Preece was paired with Shane Van Gisbergen, and his Twitter this week became a must-see because it was just like, I'm in danger.
Yeah, right. It's like,
I'm in danger memes.
Why couldn't I get SVG on a regular course?
Exactly.
Why do I get him on a road course to start things off? But then Tyler Reddick suffered a power steering issue, as Frank mentioned. He finished dead last. He's eliminated in the opening round by Alex Bowman. Denny Hamlin survived despite spinning during the race. Now takes over the Cup Series points lead by just 1 point over Reddick. Connor Zilic also continued showing why many believe he's NASCAR's next superstar. After starting at the rear twice because of penalties, teenager drove all the way back to finish 7th in the Cup race and 2nd in Saturday's O'Reilly Series. And speaking of Saturday, Van Gisbergen completed the weekend sweep by dominating that as well, leading 66 laps on his way to another Sonoma victory. Not a lot, there was a lot of surprises this weekend in Sonoma, but let's move on to Formula One.
Yeah, he do be good at races like that. George Russell delivered another Formula One overall delivered an outstanding race in Austria. George Russell converted the pole into victory, earning his 7th career Grand Prix win while holding off Max Verstappen in the closing laps. Verstappen recovered from a disappointing qualifying session to finish 2nd, while championship leader Kimi Antonelli completed out the podium. So both Mercedes on the podium in Austria. Russell's victory moves him back into 2nd place in the championship and proves Mercedes still has race-winning speed despite Antonelli's remarkable consistency this season. And the Austrian Grand Prix also featured plenty of drama, including multiple retirements from Williams and Cadillac, strategic battles throughout the field, and another intense Verstappen versus Hamilton fight that reminded us why those two remain some of the fiercest competitors in the sport.
NASCAR returns to Chicagoland Speedway for the first time since 2019.
It's Rahway Keek. It is Rahway Keek. That's the official. That is the official tweet from the Speedway's official Twitter account.
Did you enjoy that?
More than I should.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, they're going to Chicagoland Speedway for the first time since 2019. Another fresh challenge for teams as the playoff race continues to tighten. What should people expect this weekend in NASCAR?
It's going to be a fun race for sure. It's an old surface, hasn't been raced on in quite some time. So I would expect the word of the weekend to be tires, tires, tires.
All right. I think Juan Ruiz showed up in the YouTube chat just because we said World Cupdate. We didn't see him at all. I didn't see him at all yesterday because I think he was wounded, Birdland.
Well, that was only a 1-hour show.
So Juan's one of our loyal listeners.
True. Well, yeah.
I'm just saying. And it was the day after. It was the day after Mexico beat Ecuador. He was wounded, Birdland. I'm guessing he was. All right. What else is going on in the World Cup? Let's get to our World Cup date.
Once again, this World Cup just continues to be absolutely insane. We'll start off with England versus the Congo. Congo scoring in the 7th minute. England backed up against the wall here. Harry Kane scoring to tie it in the 75th minute, and then just 11 minutes later, he puts England ahead.
Heroic moment for the DR Congo goalkeeper, Harry Kane. Still Harry Kane! Oh, my word! Majestic! Harry Kane! Unbelievable! England lead 2-1.
My God, the British broadcasters have been so much better than the American ones in this World Cup. Congo out. England now their 3rd win this World Cup. The middle game yesterday went to extra time, and boy, it should not have. 2 goals for Senegal on the 25th and 51st minute. Romelu Lukaku scores for Belgium in the 86th minute. Just 3 minutes later, Belgium knots it up.
Putting one up for grabs. Keeper out. He missed it. It's tied.
These American broadcasters have taken layout and let the moment speak for itself way too literally. That forced the game into extra time. It looked as though the game was going to go to penalty kicks. However, we did get a penalty kick yesterday, but it was one in extra time. Here's how it sounded.
Tielemans with the strike. Tielemans! Everyone's off the benches. Belgium leads for the first time.
All those calls courtesy of Fox Sports. Belgium wins in extra time. That penalty kick coming in the 120th minute +5 in that game to knock Senegal out. They will face the winner of the United States versus Bosnia-Herzegovina. Balogun, just before halftime, after getting a goal taken away for offsides earlier, scores in the 45th. He then gets a red card that we talked about in the first hour. In the 64th minute, United States down to 10 men. Malik Tillman adds another goal in the 82nd minute. United States advances 2-0 over Bosnia and Herzegovina. They will play Belgium coming up. I think he said Tuesday, yes?
They play Monday.
Coming up today, Spain versus Austria. That'll be at 12 o'clock on Fox. Portugal versus Croatia will be at 4 on Fox. And Switzerland versus Algeria will be at 8 p.m. on Fox. Those are your matches today.
Team USA able to net a goal, down a player.
Yes.
Whether or not they're going to be able to do that without their best player on Monday remain to be seen. But they won't be down a player on Monday. That only happens in the current game. So as the table is set again. Paraguay and France will be on the 4th of July at 2 o'clock, as Frank mentioned. Canada and Morocco at 10 in the morning. That will be your 4th of July World Cup action. July 6th will be when Team USA plays Belgium. They'll play at 5. The earlier game on Monday will be either Portugal and winner of Portugal-Croatia, who are playing today, and Spain and Austria. So could be a Portugal-Spain matchup in the round of 16, and Team USA would be, if they win, play the winner of that particular match. Other ones that have been set, Brazil will play Norway on July 5th, which is Sunday at 1 o'clock. Mexico plays England at 5 o'clock on Sunday. So one will be wounded on Monday, it seems like. I am wounded, Birdland. July 3rd, Argentina and Cape Verde at 3 o'clock. Australia and Egypt at 11 in the morning. And then Switzerland and Algeria actually play tonight at 8 o'clock. Also on July 3rd will be Colombia and Ghana as we finish up here the round of 32 in the World Cup. For more on the World Cup, we'll go to break. And when we come back, Drake Hills will join us on 97.3 The Fan.
Victory lane, climbing down the truck. Make some noise one more time for your race winner of the Navy 250, Wayne Ray.
Broadcasting live from the Bill House Studios. We know how. Tune in Monday, July 13th, 6 o'clock, as Bet365 presents Odyssey Sports Midsummer Baseball Showcase Special from Philadelphia. Should be fun on Monday, July 13th. We're still a month away from that. No, we're not. No, we're not. I'm sorry. I thought we were still in June. I can't believe the All-Star break's already in a week.
Brother.
I know.
Brother, what?
Seems like that. Seems like that. It's the way
I feel very confident I was right.
That's just the way the season has been going right now for this team. You would think that was the case. You would think that we're a year from that because you would think it's like September right now for the Padres based on some fan reactions. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. We're going to get to our reports on the World Cup date.
Really quick. Go Aztecs in the chat. Will the stream be up for your regular time slot because you guys are just reading word for word on the script, or because we'll be reading word for word on a script? It won't be. Yeah, unfortunately, word for word, it will not be.
It will not be.
No, you're going to have to go back and watch.
All right, let's get to our World Cup date part 2 with our soccer analyst that we have. Writes for Black Players for Change. He is Drake Hills. He joins us early this morning on the SDCCU fan hotline. It's not Big Bang Banking. It's better. Drake Hills joins us on the Braden Surprenant Show. A little bit earlier of a time slot for you, Drake. You up? You got your coffee? You ready to roll?
I'm a tea guy. So, I got the green tea. But good morning to you guys. How you guys feeling?
I'm feeling great. Speaking of tea, okay, I'm a tea guy myself too. Do you ever make your own tea with some of like local own grown herbs?
Whoa. I think you might be on another level, Braden, but I'm letting you in on a secret. I'm all about agave. It's the sweetener that counts.
Okay. So fair enough. So
for me, I like that kind of fruity taste that you get from whatever blend of green tea. Like, for instance, I'm kind of on this Hawaiian Japanese blend called Momo green tea. So it's kind of got like a peachy flavor. You add a little bit of light blue agave, and you're ready to go.
This is what I did the other day, Drake, while we're on the tea subject. I had some lemon balm from the garden. I had some mint from the garden. And I had some fresh lavender petals. Put that in one of those tea infusers. Delicious. Throw some agave in there. Now we're really talking tea, Drake. I'll have to make some for you sometime.
Hey, you're at a World Cup level. I'm just, I'm kind of still in my amateur phase, it sounds like, compared to you.
Yeah, well, you know what? When you work at Starbucks for 2 years, you move along very quickly on the tea scale. Speaking of tea, we had, people from England like to drink tea. We had England play yesterday. We had a lot of other action in yesterday's World Cup. And since we were unable to have you on last week, so far, what has your reaction been to this year's World Cup?
Well, at the start, Braden, I was actually very concerned with the level of competition because of the additional set of teams, right? We go from a 32 pool to a 48 pool. And I truly thought that from a group stage perspective, we were going to see the have and have-nots of this tournament. And obviously, one of the first groups that I was thinking about that I really underestimated was the Portugal group. Looking at Portugal, Colombia, you had DR Congo in there, Uzbekistan. I thought as though Portugal and Colombia were just going to run away with it. And, I was thoroughly impressed with Congo's first game against Portugal, and actually very disappointed in Portugal throughout the group. And if you take a look at some others, whether you're looking at other European teams like Belgium and their group, I wasn't very impressed. Obviously, they had to come from behind to beat Senegal in their opening knockout round. And so there was a lot of surprises, a lot of teams like the DR Congos. I'm going to even put Algeria in there. Very impressed with Algeria. Let's see who else. I know that they didn't win anything, but I actually enjoyed watching Uzbekistan. I enjoyed watching the Uzbekistan-Colombia game. Jordan, we got a chance to see Jordan at Snapdragon Stadium about a month ago play against Colombia. I loved that game. And then there were just a lot of those smaller nations, even the African nations. I was thoroughly impressed with the way Ghana was able to tactically hold their own against England. And so going into this second part of the knockout stage, I'm looking for upsets. I'm on edge. We have in about 15 minutes, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but we've got Spain and Austria, or that might be later in the day, actually. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm looking at Austria saying like they could potentially have something to do with Spain. Another nation I was thinking about, Braden, was Cabo Verde. Cape Verde, I was thoroughly impressed with not just their goalkeeper, but just their overall setup.
We're talking with Drake Hills, who writes for Black Players for Change. He has covered soccer for a long time. He's covered the MLS for a long time, international soccer for a long time as well. He joins us in the SDCCU fan hotline. Braden Surprenant, Frank Marchese filling in for Bennett Woods this morning here on the morning show. Let's talk about USA yesterday. Obviously, the big controversial call for a lot of Americans out there. I think most people that watch soccer, understand that was a red card. We do have some people that disagree. I'm sure that's always up for debate. I understand that might be the rule from my perspective as a casual. Seems like kind of a dumb rule. I don't need to get in the ins and outs of that. What did you see on that play, and what did you see from USA after they played with a man down?
Yeah, two things, Braden. The first is the actual action, right? There's a ball played in over the top into the left channel, and Balogun and Maharovic, they're going for the ball at the same time, yet Balogun, he somewhat gets there second, right? He is got the outside position. Maharovic has got the inside, and he essentially starts his boot, his foot, kind of starts at the calf, and essentially rakes all the way down to the Achilles. That's a foul. That's a foul, and that is at a card. That is a card, a caution card, in my opinion and my analysis. Now, the second point I wanted to make is the replay. And the replay clearly shows that there is a very egregious contact between the two. And it's one of those instances, Braden, where the replay, it's damaging, and it makes it worse what the play actually was. It very much looks so like there was some sort of malice, which was not the case. And so I think that Balogun is very unfortunate. I think that's a yellow card. That is not a red card whatsoever in my book. And the question becomes, what can the U.S. men's national team do about that? Because you're not able to necessarily appeal for a one-game suspension, but it remains to be seen, like, would this be a two-game suspension? If the U.S. were to advance, I think the U.S. do have some options in how to approach FIFA if there were to be an additional game suspension. But obviously you have Ricardo Pepi, you've got Haji Wright. I think that changes the system a little bit. But, yeah, that's what I saw on the play.
In terms of their matchup against Belgium, they're going to be without, obviously, one of their best players. How are they going to be able to overcome that? How do you see this matchup on Monday?
Yeah, so there's a tactical tweak in there because Balogun is, like you said, he's the out-and-out best number 9 that they have, one of the best forwards that they have. And when I say one of the best, I mean he's in the best form. He's got a few goals to his name, and I think that he really allows Pulisic, Tillman, even in the midfield with McKennie and Adams, to have someone that can run, who is probably one of the quickest, more athletic up front. That changes when you have Ricardo Pepi. He's more of your traditional stay in the box, try to have a tap-in goal here or there. He's good in link-up play where you can kind of play the ball to him and run off of him and play a give and go. So he's more of your classic center forward. And then Haji Wright is like your ultimate strength, strong number 9, but he's not the runner that Balogun is. So I think if you're talking about the replacement, I think the way that they interact with whoever is the center forward, that changes in terms of play style. And then, of course, the formation as well. I think you could go from this 4-2-3-1 that the U.S. has been playing to more of a 4-3-3 to allow whether it be Pulisic and whoever else would play on the right to kind of have a little more freedom and interchange with whoever's in the center. But I think that when you're looking at Belgium, it's actually it's actually beneficial for the U.S. I think that the center back pairing, or at least just the back line in general, it's not the Belgium of old. That it's not this Belgium that the U.S. played in the knockout stage in the 2014 World Cup, if you remember that. Tim Howard, 16 saves, pretty much almost beat Belgium by himself. The Vincent Kompanies, the Toby Alderweireld, the Jan Vertonghen's, that generation is gone. And so I think that, we're looking at the Rudy Garcia's team. It's this 5-man back line, which they don't really have someone that I think that if the U.S. were to throw numbers forward, I think they can have the opportunity to overwhelm the Belgians in terms of their attacking prowess. So if the U.S. want to win that game, they need to attack the fullback specifically. I think when you saw Belgium play against Wales, they had a lot. I think 2 or 3 times, even in qualifiers, by just isolating their fullbacks and getting 2-on-1 scenarios. So I think Christian Pulisic out wide. I think this is a game that I think Pulisic can really make his mark on. I think this can be a legacy game for him. I think this is a game, given all the injuries, finally coming back to start for the first time against since the Paraguay game. I think this is Pulisic's game to really get a goal in.
Drake, we appreciate the time, man. Keep enjoying the World Cup action and enjoy the 4th, you and your family, over the weekend.
All right. Take care. Happy 4th to everyone. Happy 250.
Drake Hills joining us on the SDCCU fan hotline for our World Cup update. We'll get back to Drake next week. He's Frank Marchese. I'm Braden Surprenant, filling in for Ben and Woods.
Hey, it's Chris.
Final hour of the Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. We are on each and every day from 10 to 2. San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. He's Frank Marchese. I'm Braden Surprenant. This will be our last show of the week with the 4th of July holiday coming up this weekend. Padres are in L.A. this weekend.
Yay.
And it's not against the Angels.
Oh.
Oh.
God.
Anybody excited for this series this weekend? Probably not. Not the way this team's been playing. Not the fact that they're coming off of a franchise worst loss. Not the fact that they have given up more runs in these last 5 games than they ever have in a 5-game span in their season hit series or franchise history. You get to face Roki Sasaki today. Hey, that might work out for you. And then you get to face Shohei Ohtani tomorrow. Nice.
Yeah.
Oh. Close.
Crying for 2 different reasons.
Oh, man. They also got, who's that same crew as last weekend?
I'm surprised I don't get a foul for that.
You can give yourself a foul if you want.
No, it's you don't call it. I'm sorry.
All right, cool. The guy doesn't want to foul out. Stay in the game. Roki Sasaki tonight. Shohei Ohtani tomorrow. Yamamoto Saturday. Sheehan Sunday. Good luck. That's going to be tough. Are we looking at a 9-game losing streak on Monday?
No.
They win 1?
No, hold on. We don't use this enough.
Not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
Not going to happen.
It's not going to. No. They're going to accidentally win at least 1.
On accident.
At least 1.
Which game are they winning? Tonight?
Could win tonight. I would not be surprised at all if tonight is the game that they win because of what happened yesterday. Like I said, I think that was a team bonding experience yesterday.
Team bonding. You know what? We're just so much closer together now after getting our ass kicked.
Yeah. Their goals better be aligned more than they ever have before. Like, we know we're going to lose, but we ain't losing like that again.
I would pick tonight because of yesterday and that Sasaki has not been good ever, it seems like. But you know what? He might shove. Who knows? Out of the group, I mean, they already shown that they can't really beat up on Sheehan too much. Yamamoto mowed him down. Like, they didn't do well against Ohtani last time. I mean, not to say that anybody really does well against Ohtani, except for the Padres when he was wearing an Angels uniform. I mean, we're at the point now where you're just hoping that they win 1 game in LA so they come into Petco Park on Monday 500. Just for the vibes. I mean, as Go Aztecs mentioned yesterday, they made Colin Ray look good yesterday. They made a Cubs pitching staff that has been depleted. Actually, no, they didn't because they put up a lot of runs. The offense has been pretty solid the last 13 days. I will say that.
And to be fair.
Oh, I have to say it. To be fair.
They did face the 2 best pitchers the Cubs have left.
Can you stop with the excuses? People already think we're the excuse show.
No, that's not. That's just pointing out reality. It's not like you face 3 AA guys who are up just to eat some innings. You did face Imanaga. You did face Boyd, and you put up runs against them.
You did. The one guy that wasn't very good of the group, you didn't put up runs against.
Yeah, that's.
Big Ten Frank is turning into Padres PR Frank.
It's not even Padres PR. It's a fact. You didn't face high A scrubs. You did face their 2 best guys, and those were the 2 closest games.
I saw this earlier today on social media talking about, some outlet that people like. It's like, well, because they tell it how it is. They don't sugarcoat things. It's like, it's one thing to just go with the mob. And just go with what everybody else is saying, and
ignore facts,
and not think for yourself, and just be like, "What's the mob saying? Let's just go with what everybody else is saying." That would be called what?
Being a windsock.
Being a windsock.
See that? You see that big thing that we have down there on the bottom?
That's a windsock down there on the street, graffitied on the street on that sign on the YouTube page. That's a windsock. We are not windsocks on this show. We will just tell you how it is.
Don't be that.
Positive and negatively. And right now, like, yesterday was awful. There's not a lot to pull from yesterday. Yesterday was the epitome of the Padres season, of everything that is shown has been bad.
Johnny Owens
was yesterday.
Johnny Owen in the chat just said, please just admit that this Padres team will not sniff a World Series and is not very good right now. We said it. We said it several times in the 7 a.m. hour, which you'll hear again at 11 a.m. We have said it.
They're not very good. They're not. I mean, this current team is not going to win a World. I mean, they're not a World Series caliber team.
No.
I mean, to say never sniff a World Series championship, I mean, if that was the case, why would
this year?
Is he talking about this year, or is he talking about
this year?
All time? Because if that's the case, I don't even know why you would watch the team then.
Said that this current team would not sniff a World Series.
Right. I agree with Go Aztecs in the Twitch chat, too. He says, my issue is that you make a team like the Cubs look like that when you are the better team. I didn't know a better team. You made the Cubs look a lot better than they actually are. The whole week.
Mm-hmm.
You could make the excuse that they, got hot at the right time right before they played the Padres, which seems to be happening a lot.
Sorry.
But, yeah, thanks. We got to stop playing teams after they play the Mets. Essentially our problem. But the reality, it's where they're at right now. I mean, they're still above 500. If you want to be positive about it, but it's not great. And here's the other thing too. I said this yesterday off air, and I've seen a lot of people ask the question about it. It's like, if you are people go these guys got to be fired. My thing is, it's at this point, what is it going to accomplish aside from just saying all right, we did something? I understand where you're coming from, but the one scapegoat that everybody had at the beginning of the year was the hitting coach and Steven Souza Jr. But guess what? The offense has actually been good in the last 13 games. They actually look like collectively they're moving in the right direction. Now, situational hitting's not been very good, but they have the 8th best batting average and 8th best OPS in the last 13 games in Major League Baseball. That's a sign that things are going in the right direction. So, are you that's the guy you're going to get rid of? That's going to change anything? Is that going to just make them play better?
Which is also why we say that the problems that the lineup had at the beginning of the season have caused the problems that the starting pitching has had, and have caused the problems that the bullpen has had. Starting pitching and bullpen were not this bad at the beginning of the year, but 2 months worth of having to be inch perfect every time they stepped on the mound has taken its toll on them, and they are now starting to fall apart. Every problem that the Padres have right now can be related back to the 2 months to start the season of not having an offense to speak of.
Correct. I would agree with that. But at this point now that they're turning things around, you're going to, this entire, most of the staff you hired 6 months ago. And so, you're going to immediately pull the plug on the entire staff 6 months in. If you do that every time, nobody's ever going to take this job. But on top of that, it's what's it going to do? Is that going to light a fire on anybody? Really? Yesterday should light a fire under everybody in that organization on its own. So if you're not going to fire him, pitching staff hasn't been good. You're going to fire Ruben Niebla? What is that going to accomplish? Does anybody think he did? I don't think
we like Ruben.
Oh, we like Ruben, right? But the starting rotation right now can't get anybody to go 5 innings. So is that the player's fault? You can't pick and choose when it's the player's fault and when it's the coach's fault. So you're obviously not gonna fire him. What are you gonna get rid of Randy Knorr? Just to say you did something, right? You get rid of Randy Knorr. Are you going to get rid of Nick Punto? Seriously, are you why would an organization who just hired a manager 6 months ago get rid of said manager 6 months in as they're 1 game above 500?
Say we get rid of the assistant to the traveling secretary, George Costanza.
He works for the Yankees.
No, I meant his position.
That'd be rude.
That's the assistant.
I'm sure that man or woman is a nice person.
Well, we got to do something.
Again, like I said, it's easy just to say, like, fire these guys, do this, do that, and just, quit on the rest of the season. I don't necessarily know how it's going to make you better for next year. But this season is exactly why I said you had to buy last year. Because they went through this again last year, right, Frank? We went through like the same May and June last year, and everybody's like, you got to sell, you got to sell, you got to sell, for next year. And I said, well, you can't do that because you have no idea what next year's going to be like. You have no idea what position you're going to be in. So it's kind of hard. If you have an opportunity to win, you should buy. Now, right now, it's kind of hard to say that they have an opportunity to win coming into the trade deadline. Unless they really turn things around, they have played their way out of buying. They're currently in the position of staying the same, and they're quickly playing towards selling. Although, as we've mentioned before, I don't necessarily know what you're going to get that's going to be anything better than what you currently have. And so then you would just be making a move to make a move. And what you can't do as a professional organization for sports is just make moves to make moves because your fan base is angry. That leads to a rough going of an organization.
Cannot allow your fans to cry bully you into making a move.
Correct, because the ones that do, those organizations are usually not very good. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. It's tough trying to fix the Padres' problems this week. We're running out of ideas. And the idea to sell players that are free agents for the best prospects available is not a plan. That's just kind of a dream. When we come back, we got On Back next weekend. The world famous Over the Line tournament is going on, and we will get some information from one of their representatives about what next weekend will look like for everybody that's going out to OTL. We get to that next on the Braden Surprenant Show, Standing Room Sports Station 97 through the Fan. We're officially halfway through the 2026 MLB season, and one thing is clear, the second half is going to be wild. Dodgers are still the team to beat despite getting surprisingly little production from Kyle Tucker. Meanwhile, Brewers have quietly climbed to number 2 in baseball and suddenly look like a legitimate World Series contender. National League is stacked. Braves, Phillies, Cubs, Cardinals, and Padres all battling for position, but over in the American League, it's chaos, but not for good reasons. There are teams under 500 that still believe that they can make the playoffs because the wild card race is so crowded. That means the next month is huge. The trade deadline is coming. Contenders are preparing to buy, and one aggressive move could completely change the playoff picture. First half gave us plenty of surprises, but the second half is where champions are crowned and championships are won. We have officially reached the halfway mark. What are some of our key takeaways?
Dodgers are good. The Dodgers are still one of the best teams in baseball. They're still the gold standard. Milwaukee really can just continue doing what they've been doing and still be solid, leading the National League Central. The Cubs have been so up and down this year. As mentioned on the show, they've had 2 10-game winning streaks and a 10-game losing streak in there. They've been all over the place. And the National League East, really crazy with Atlanta getting out to that big start, that big jump start. And now the Phillies are starting to knock back on the door again, showing that they really are not the team that they seemed to be at the beginning of the season.
Yeah,
when they fired their manager at a time when they should have fired their manager.
They should, yeah.
Well, unlike other teams in the National League East.
Well, they should have probably fired him before the season even started. And again, like they were off to a tough start because they played the 2 best teams at the time. At the time, it's not who you play, it's when you play them. And then all of a sudden the Phillies came back to regress back to the mean of where they're supposed to be. The annoying part is, as you mentioned last week, Phillies fans are going to talk about how great they are, how they overcame everything by firing their manager. But the reality is their schedule got easier, and then they started to really get into a groove. But the National League is loaded. That doesn't mean that they're guaranteed to win the World Series, but the National League is loaded with the Braves, with the Phillies, with the Cubs starting to come back after digging themselves in the hole. The Cardinals are still hanging around. The Dodgers are good. The Brewers are good. Padres are right there in contention. And even then, like, there's other teams that are on the outside looking in that are good that might be just a little bit early on their rebuild. This is a very loaded National League, and there's a lot of teams that could potentially make the playoffs out of this league.
Yeah, and it's always competitive, which means every game means something. The National League Central still has 4 teams over 500, and for the Padres right now, that's really not good because you're losing tiebreakers to those teams, and you're playing the Cubs now, and then the Dodgers later on this weekend for more of those tiebreakers. So it is a very, very difficult league to get ahead in right now. That National League is going to be a gauntlet, and I don't think it's too far fetched to say that the winner of the World Series is going to come out of the National League this year.
Yeah, but knowing how bad the American League has been, it would be a surprise that not only American League team wins, but also one that was under 500 for most of the season. And that's where we're at right now in the American League. Unlike the National League, the American League's wide open for other reasons. It's not because a lot of teams are good. A lot of teams are very average and bad. I mean, Seattle was at the top of the AL West, but now it's the Texas Rangers, and they're 500. And they've only, and the Mariners had played slightly over 500 ball for most of the year. They're now under 500. Cleveland has remained competitive despite massive offensive struggles and injuries. Tampa Bay has cooled after its blistering start, but still owns one of the best records in baseball and one of the best home records too in baseball. Even below teams below 500 like Minnesota, Houston, Detroit, they still believe they're in postseason race because the wild card picture remains incredibly congested. That parity could make this one of the most fascinating trade deadlines in recent memory. It just seems like everybody is in it in the American League, and not because everybody's good.
No, and teams that were clear sellers like Minnesota and Houston would have been clear sellers last year because of how bad the rest of the league is. Now those guys that you would have thought were going to be on the market, the Christian Walkers of the world, the Joe Ryans of the world, those guys now most likely are going to stay and possibly get guys added to those rosters to try to help them out because they're a couple pieces away from not just getting over 500, but because of getting over 500, they're getting into a playoff spot. So it's going to really change the landscape of the trade deadline as that comes up at the end of next month.
So are stars heating up at the right time. Manny Machado is finally starting to break out of his early season slump for the Padres. He's delivered a lot of clutch hits over the past week. Kyle Schwarber continues to launch home runs at a historic pace in Philadelphia. Kansas City's Jack Caglione has emerged as one of baseball's hottest hitters during June, while Chicago's Pete Armstrong is putting together an MVP caliber month on both sides of the ball, which leads to a very much exciting series between the Padres and Cubs this week with Manny and Pete Armstrong.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm very, very excited to watch this series. This is our last video. We got about an hour left before the game starts. I'm ready to hit the traffic and watch this series.
Yeah, second half was going to be defined by the trade deadline. I believe this 100%. And the deal is you just don't know who's going to buy and who's going to sell. I think a lot of teams in the National League are loaded to buy, but I don't necessarily think a lot of teams in the American League know what they're going to do yet. And I think that makes the trade deadline very much a wild card and something that the Padres definitely have to do well at. They have to get a good grade at the trade deadline if they're going to make the playoffs this year based on how they've been performing so far this season. I know a lot of things can change in about a week, but this is a very important week for the Padres as they take on the Cubs and then the Dodgers over the to 2, and we would do our midday sports standoff at 12:50 every single day. If you could take me down in sports trivia, you'd be qualified for a chance to win our grand prize. 2-night stay at Town & Country Resort, the $250 food and beverage credit. Work on your resting vacation face this summer at Town & Country Resort. 3 pools and a 4-story water slide named Twister make Town & Country a family favorite. Rates start at $199 per night exclusively for fan listeners. Visit townandcountry.com/fan to book now. Now, joining us on the SDCCU fan hotline to give us an update on what's going on next weekend here in town. It is a San Diego staple. It is the On Back Over the Line tournament. It's the 73rd Over the Line tournament. And joining us now on the SDCCU fan hotline, it's not Big Bank Banking, it's better, is On Back's Director of Marketing, Trevor Westman-Lavelle. Trevor, what's going on, man? Hopefully you are getting ready and excited for the not only the 4th of July weekend, but huge weekend for you guys coming up next weekend.
Big time, Braden. It's thank you so much for having us on.
It's good to have you on.
Looking forward to a huge weekend. Yeah.
Yeah, as somebody that loves playing over the line, that grew up playing over the line here in San Diego from junior OTL all the way through, now playing again for a second year in a row. Looking forward to being out there at Fiesta Island. But for a lot of people, we got a lot of transplants here, Trevor. We got a lot of people that even that have grown up here their whole life don't know what Over the Line is, don't know what On Back does. What is Over the Line? What is On Back? What do you guys do as an organization? And what is this big event coming up in a couple of weeks?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, On Back is the old Mission Beach Athletic Club. We have been around for just a little bit longer than OTL has been played. Actually came up with the game of Over the Line as a pickup sport in between volleyball matches on the beach. Guys down in South Mission looking for just to have some fun on the beach, and in between those volleyball matches said, hey, let's draw something out. Pulled the bat and the ball, went out. Next thing you know, 73 years later, we're putting on a tournament that welcomes thousands of people down to Fiesta Island every year for 2 weekends.
This weekend is coming up, in the next a weekend or so, we will have the 73rd Over the Line tournament down there at Fiesta Island. There might be some new players out there. Obviously, you guys have put in a glove division that a lot of people have that are going to experience Over the Line for the first time. There's a lot of other divisions out there. What should people expect that want to go down and watch OTL? And for the new people that haven't played yet, what should they expect in terms of what time you want to get people down there? When's the best time to get on the island if you want to park? And maybe some options for them that you might still have available when it comes to parking and even camping.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Over the Line is a super fun game, both to play and to watch. It's easy to pick up. It's a spin on a bat and ball game, softball or baseball with a twist. There's no base running. It's 3-on-3. It's played on a small court, so it's easy to set up or find a place to set up. But again, it's really fast paced. You boil it down to accuracy of hitting and some really quick lightning speed fielding. And play is probably going to start about 8:30 every day. Best time, of course, to get down there is going to be in the morning because it is Fiesta Island. There's one way in and there's one way out. We've got paid parking right across the street from the tournament grounds. Basically, that's where Fiesta Island Dog Park is, on the west side of the island. And we actually also have RV spots still available. It's $400 for both weekends. It's the best deal for beach camping in San Diego for 2 weekends in July. And we want people to come down. As you mentioned, there are co-ed divisions. There's a glove division. It is our fastest growing division. It's a great way to get into the game and learn this sport and maybe work your way up to playing without a glove. But overall, it is all about fun. It is the biggest party on the beach in San Diego this summer.
Obviously, you guys have a lot of other stuff too, and we're talking, with Trevor Westman Lavelle, who's director of marketing at On Back. There's other things that are still available that you can enhance your process. I know you guys got a circle of champions that makes your own suites, your own skybox, if you will, at Over the Line. You guys also have some other amenities throughout if you want to upgrade your experience. What are some other cool things that you guys have planned this year? Maybe for a little extra, but also some cool you guys always have some cool events going on as well at On Back. That's kind of free or and different experiences that people could go down there and enjoy.
Yeah, man, I'll tell you, we're pulling out basically every excuse, every blocker that anyone could have for coming down. We have our second annual cornhole tournament, partnering up with East County Baggers and Imperial Beach Athletic Club. And that's going to be going on that first weekend. We're doing our first annual Washers tournament and our first annual Horseshoes tournament as well. So great alternative reasons to come down and check out the Over the Line tournament. We have plenty of bars. We got great food. We're going to be having live music the first Friday night and Saturday night out in the RV space, which is just right across the street from the tournament field. again, this is all about having fun. We've been putting this event on for 73 years, and it is at its core a tournament, but it has a festival atmosphere. It is all about having a good time down on the sand.
Now you guys you don't have too many rules, but you do have the B rules, if you will, if you want to address that. Obviously, I can't remember all of them off the top of my head, and I can't remember which ones are clean and which ones are not. But in essence, the 5 Bs for people that are coming down for the first time, that they don't want to get yelled at by the old on-back guys, and you probably know that's probably not fun.
Yeah, this event is definitely geared towards an adult crowd. It's the 5 Bs. These are the OG Bs. No babies, no bikes, no Bowsers, dogs, and no bottles. There's no glass. We're great stewards, great partners of the city, and working with the city, especially Parks and Rec. We're stewards of the beach. We're stewards of the island for those 2 weekends. We want to make sure that we take care of it, keep it clean, but we also want to keep it safe for everyone attending.
Obviously, you said this is a big adult event. You do have kid events for different weekends. It's junior over the line. They get to use gloves. They get to teach kids, about the sport, to try to get more youth involved. Obviously, for anybody driving around, it sounds like it's a fun game, or maybe that their kids might be interested in doing something and trying something on the beach for the first time. Talk to us a little bit about the junior OTL, when the next junior OTL tournament is, and what that is like. That's more kid oriented, that families can go and enjoy on select Saturdays and Sundays throughout the summer.
Absolutely, we do 3 tournaments a summer. We just finished up our 2nd tournament of this summer. Last weekend we had over 100 kids sign up. The weekend before we had almost 300. That was on June 7th, and then we've got our championship tournament coming up on the 1st of August. That tournament is entirely free for all of the kids registered to play. And like you said, this is an opportunity while we get a ton of teams that register together. If you're an individual signing up, do so. Get online, go to onback.org and register. We'll get you on a team. It is glove. It is wooden softball bat. The same rules apply for the bats. So no tournament bats, no big bangers or travel ball bats. But we want to get you signed up and get you playing. We feed you lunch, and at the end of the day, you're going to have a great time. The August championship tournament is always the biggest. It's always the most fun. But that is why we do what we do, because we want to continue to grow the sport. Want to show more and more kids how to play and how much fun you can have at an OTL tournament.
Yeah, you feed them. I remember doing junior OTL, it was like free hot dogs, like during the day or something like that. You guys still do that?
Oh, the Mad Rush.
Yeah,
I bet. The Mad Rush, we're still doing it.
All right, that's awesome. It's always a great time playing junior OTL, and obviously you can't sign up now. I don't know if you could still sign up for the big tournament. We're kind of close now. You got to start filling out the brackets. If you can, let us know how you can do that. If not, when can you start signing up for the next year? When do you guys start putting that out? When should people start being on the lookout for anybody that might have missed out on playing this year?
You can still sign up. We're going to keep things open through Monday the 6th, and then we got to lock it down. We are already starting our seeding for the big tournament, but there's still room for more teams. So again, go to onback.org and click on that over the line page. You'll find the sign up buttons. There's probably like 6 on that page. So hard to miss, and get yourself in this year. We will probably start up next year for the 2027 tournament right around January. We're still deciding. Who knows? We may go earlier, but if anything, you can get yourself in for this year's tournament by end of day Monday.
Trevor, I appreciate the time, man. Thanks again for jumping on with us. Obviously, On Back's a big deal here in town. Over the Line's a big deal here in town. Always a fun time, and I'll see you out there at the tournament in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, man. Looking forward to seeing you down there.
Trevor Westman-Lavelle, Director of Marketing at On Back, giving us the full fill-in on Over the Line coming up in just a matter of days now, it seems like. It'll be July 11th through the 12th will be the On Back World Championships that you'll see. Then they will have the second weekend for anybody that made it through the first weekend will be July 18th and the 19th. And again, as he mentioned before, the Junior World Championships. This is for all kids. They have a bunch of different age divisions. It's free to sign up for the August one, the Junior World Championship. They get, free entry. If you don't have a team, they'll put you on a team. Go down there and have some fun as a family on August 8th at Fiesta Island. Kids get free hot dogs down there as well. So I used to play it as a kid. I had a great time. I actually, I won the Junior World Championship one year, with a couple of buddies of mine. Haven't been anywhere close since, but it's always a fun time playing over the line. And again, if you're an adult and you're a little bit nervous, because I know a lot of people that are nervous about trying to catch one of those softballs barehanded, they have a glove division now. I know a handful of players that I play softball with that are signing up for the glove division to go out there and just give it a shot. That is also starting on July 11th. So Frank and I will be out there roaming around. I'll be playing a little bit, some over the line. We have a couple of teams. You'll see our t-shirts out there as well. And we're out there going to have a good time. So if you guys want to head down, again, for more information, go to onback.org. Should be a good time. Frank, that was Frank's first over the line last year.
Last year. Yep. That was a lot of fun. Had
a great time. Yeah, it was a little bit. It's a lot more mellow than it used to be. I remember that place being kind of, because I remember playing at like 18 on my dad's team, going like, "Wow, what is going on right now? This is like anarchy out here." But it's starting to mellow out a little bit. It's fun competition. I mean, there's got to be teams out there that are very good that play all the time. There's got to be teams out there that have never played before, and it's a fun tournament. So it's a true double limb. But again, if you have a kid that plays baseball, or if you have a daughter that plays softball, and they want to have some fun on the beach on August 8th, the Junior World Championships are a blast. I had so much fun playing as a kid. And they have like younger divisions that use a tee where they don't have to learn how to pitch either. So I highly encourage it. It's pretty fun. So we'll see. I get the on back, my OTL team shirts are coming in today, Frank.
Yeah,
we got to get you representing. You look too business cash last year.
Well, I didn't have the shirt yet last year,
right,
but I've got the shirts from last year, and yeah.
Go out there. You got to tan the casings a little bit. It's hot out there. Make sure you wear your socks.
Yes,
gets hot on the sand. Anyway, 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Big thanks again to Trevor Westman-Lavelle, the Director of Marketing at OnBack, for joining us today. When we come back, the Players Association proposed transaction changes to the new CBA. We'll see what they said. Also, we'll give you a preview of Padres and Dodgers this weekend. Things are looking pretty bleak right now for the Pods. We'll see if they can bounce back against LA. Oh, that's kind of a glaring task. We'll discuss that with our bold predictions next to finish up the show. '26 NBA draft didn't blow up with chaos. It split the league into two clear philosophies: win now or wait later. Memphis came out swinging with one of the strongest drafts in recent memory, turning picks into Cameron Boozer, Isaiah Stewart, and extra assets in a masterclass of maneuvering. Sacramento and Washington also leaned into star power and identity building, while teams like Phoenix quietly stole value late. But not everyone was aggressive. New York and Denver drew criticism for prioritizing flexibility and cap space over immediate help, even in a draft loaded with usable rotation talent. San Antonio, Chicago, and Brooklyn all showed upside, but the real questions about fit and spacing. The takeaway: this wasn't a flashy draft. It was a philosophical one. Teams didn't just pick players, they picked timelines. Headliners of the draft: the biggest winner by consensus was the Memphis Grizzlies, who turned a complex web of trades into a massive talent haul, landing Cameron Boozer at number 3, flipping down the board for extra assets, and ultimately adding Isaiah Stewart, plus depth picks that gave Memphis both upside and roster toughness. It's kind of multi-layered draft night that reflects strong front office clarity. But not only that, they also parted ways with Ja Morant. They have now traded him to Portland. So a new era in Memphis after the draft.
Yeah, and that happened right after the show, or right as the show was ending. On Monday, they traded Ja Morant. So, yeah, this is a complete and total tear down, refreshing of the organization for the Memphis Grizzlies, and it started with a very, very good, very, very successful draft night. Cameron Boozer is going to be a very, very good player in the NBA from what I've seen.
Other very strong drafts. The Atlanta Hawks leaned in athleticism by drafting Kingston Flemings, but raised questions by duplicating skill sets in the front court. Still, their willingness to stay disciplined in a volatile draft earned some praise. Oklahoma City continued their asset-heavy philosophy, landing Adai Mara and Bennett Sturts while managing flexibility around the crowded center rotation. It was another process over perfection draft for a team that rarely deviates from a system. And the Suns quietly made one of the best value moves in the entire draft, grabbing Pete late in the first round. Pete's versatility and strength made him one of the biggest steal candidates in the class. You had some mixed reviews with Chicago and Brooklyn. San Antonio continued to build from the front court around Victor Wembanyama, but their questions remain about the redundancy and injury risk of the players that they drafted. Knicks, Pelicans, and Cavs did not do very well because a lot of their drafts raised some eyebrows. But as we talked about in the NHL update, a lot of these won't be defined until years down the road where you see value and you get to see these guys play at the next level. To me, the biggest takeaway for the summer is the offseason. And the offseason for the NBA is almost more thrilling than the regular season. And today there were reports about potential. We saw the Ja Morant trade, right? But today there were reports about LeBron James and potentially with Draymond Green not opting into his contract with Golden State, the Warriors are interested in bringing in LeBron and potentially trading for Anthony Davis. I mean, what a couple of crazy moves that would be if Golden State pulled that off. Whether or not it would work, it would definitely be crazy enough to talk about over the offseason.
Yeah, they're also talking about Kawhi Leonard possibly going back to Toronto. Right. A trade there. You're seeing Ben Simmons preparing for a return to the NBA. There's a bunch of other storylines.
Giannis got traded to Miami.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? We already had that earlier this offseason.
I mean, it's been an insane off season already for the NBA, and it's only going to get crazier at this point.
Do you think LeBron goes to Golden State? Do you think it's a good fit? Do you think with everything moving around? First of all, if the Lakers got rid of LeBron and Anthony Davis, it'd probably be best for them at that point in time. But I mean, at this, if you're LeBron, do you really want to leave the Lakers? I mean, what is going to Golden State going to do? If you're the Warriors, what's the point of bringing LeBron in at this age? I don't get it.
You would say a trade like that would be like, oh yeah, we have LeBron now, but you've already got Steph Curry. You've got a guy who's just as big a name and who's younger and is still having an impact in the league. That just seems like a small time move by Golden State, a team that has very recently won NBA championships. That's a move that I would expect out of a New Orleans or the Wizards when they sign Michael Jordan. That doesn't seem like something that would benefit Golden State in any way, shape, or form.
And the only reason why Golden State would trade for Anthony Davis, because that was the only way LeBron said he would sign with Golden State. Because again, LeBron still has to control what's going on in the organization that he is in. I don't necessarily know that brings Golden State back to where they want to be. If they wanted to do this, they should have done this a long time ago. But with Draymond Green opting out or not taking the opt-in, it opens up the door for the Warriors to pursue something like this, which is very interesting. So biggest thing about the NBA offseason, stars are always on the move, it seems like. So we will keep you posted on LeBron James potentially going to Golden State. If that, materializes, or even Kawhi Leonard going back to Toronto, a place he won a NBA Finals and was an MVP. Maybe that is the recipe to get Kawhi Leonard on the court. But still lots to talk about this offseason about the NBA, and we'll continue to do so. All of our guests join us on the SDCCU Fan Hotline. It's not Big Bang Banking, it's better. Again, thank you to our two guests today, Trevor Westman-Lavelle, Director of Marketing at OnBack, as well as Drake Hills. Give us a World Cup date if you will. We didn't get to today's fun trivia question, and we can only do it today. Top 10 most popular 4th of July dishes. I kind of want to guess these now. Since, we don't have a contestant, it's fine.
I'm going to have to
pull it up. Did you delete it?
I did.
Delete it from the history of time?
I did, yeah.
No, more top 10.
I got it.
All right. Top 10 4th of July. What was it?
Top 10 most popular 4th of July dishes. So it could be like a main, it could be a side.
It could be my main, it could be one of my sides. Hot dog.
Number 1.
Really? Where's my ding? Come on, man.
Phrasing.
Ding it. There it is. Can you get your head out of the gutter for like literally one show?
You said it.
You think your headspace. You think about things like that all the time. Nobody thinks like that. Well, I won't say that.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of people think like that.
Have you not seen our chat?
Yeah, I have. Both of them. Okay. Burgers. Number what?
Well, it's number 2.
Number 2.
They were just listed. They weren't like on a tier for like most popular.
Yeah, but those are 1 and 2 most popular, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then I would go with like potato salad is probably on there somewhere.
Number 4 on the list.
Wow. What about macaroni salad? Wow.
5.
We're on a tear here. Okay. Any more mains on there?
Yes.
Ribs. Makes sense. Couple
There's
more.
One more. There's one more main.
One more main. Brats? I guess that would be included with the hot dogs?
No, it just said hot dogs.
It just said hot dogs. Another like 4th of July? Is it a barbecue related thing?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's brisket. It's too.
Nope.
No. Pulled pork? Really? Is it very obvious?
Yeah, it's
chicken wings. There it is.
Barbecue chicken.
Barbecue chicken. Okay. Fair enough.
Got the top 5.
Beans.
7.
Salad?
Specific?
I already gave you potato salad and macaroni salad. How many more salads are there? Fruit salad?
There you go. 10.
Was it fruit salad?
Mm-hmm.
So which one am I missing now?
6, 8, and 9.
Are there desserts on this?
No.
Okay. Out of the top 10.
They're side. All 3 are sides.
Top 10 most popular 4th of
appetizer.
July dishes.
They're all. I would say they're all sides.
They're all sides. Okay. Coleslaw.
8.
Life's too short to consume coleslaw. I'll die on that hill. Now, you know what? Coleslaw on a pulled pork sandwich is pretty good. Coleslaw on its side, nah. Fridge Watcher put fruit. That includes the fruit salad, right? Or is that a separate thing?
Yeah, that would have included fruit salad.
Okay. So we're missing 2 of these.
Mm-hmm.
They're number 6 and 8? Or I just got 8?
Okay. 6 and 9.
6 and 9. Okay. Coleslaw. Mac and cheese. Really? Okay. You said one of these can be considered an appetizer?
Yeah, kind of. I'm trying to figure out how to like categorize it. It's something that's usually put out that you kind of like pick at over the course of a night.
Okay, so it's something you kind of pick at.
It's very, very popular.
Very, very popular. You pick at throughout the day?
It's not like it's like a bunch of. It's not one thing. Like it's not like
it's like hors d'oeuvres.
Yeah,
hors d'oeuvres. The gabagool. No, one. Cheese?
No.
Pick at it all day. There's a lot of things like this, like
it's
wings and
cold.
Stuff. It's cold.
Should be cold.
Oh, like deviled eggs. Really?
Number 9.
That was more like an Easter thing. Very popular 4th of July. Okay. And so we're looking for number 6.
Mm-hmm.
Side.
Yep.
Definitely just a side.
Mm-hmm.
Corn. Wow.
Corn on the cob.
Corn on the cob. All right, so the top 10 is?
Hot dogs, burgers.
I'd have both of those
barbecue chicken.
That's kind of a reach for me.
Potato salad.
Yes, gotta have it.
Macaroni salad.
Gotta have it.
Corn on the cob.
Don't need it.
Baked beans.
Ranch style are better, but yeah.
Coleslaw.
Never ever have that unless you're having pulled pork.
Deviled eggs.
I'll take that as an appetizer.
And fruit salad.
Yummy, yummy. I feel like you got to have watermelon on the 4th of July, you know?
Yeah, it was on there. It said like a fruit/watermelon salad, which, I mean, it's kind of the same thing. I see it at least.
You know, we could talk more about this in the 10 o'clock hour.
We can, yeah. Actually, you know what?
We kind of did.
It'd be the 1 o'clock hour, actually.
No. You know what our 10 o'clock hour is. You know about the extra long segment we done. 10 o'clock hour.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's a good lead-in, actually, as a matter of fact. It's a great lead-in. Okay. Do you see the... We didn't get to what Jake Waters wanted us to talk about, since usually in our noon hour, we talk about it's our lunchtime hour. We talk about food. He wanted us to talk about breakfast foods because we were here in the morning. Well, we missed the 12 o'clock hour. We were talking about Padres baseball for most of the show.
Still time.
I mean, you can. I do want to get into this proposal thing here, but like breakfast, he asked like what your favorite like breakfast foods were.
Sausage, egg, and cheese on a roll, salt, pepper, ketchup.
Yeah, when's the last? Can you even get that out here?
No.
No. Okay. You do the bagel thing, or you do the roll.
I prefer a roll, but if I have to, bagel, yes, egg bagel.
Egg bagel. That's what you get at. Like, I can't do the savory bagel, dude. I can't do it. I had it in New York. It was good. I would just rather have a bagel with cream cheese. I would. I just would rather have a bagel with cream cheese. I had it. I tried. I had the.
I can't.
The bacon, egg, and cheese, and then all that stuff. No.
Yes, Nate, you're right.
I had the pork roll
and bagel. Yes.
I can't. I'd rather have it with cream cheese. I really would.
I can't have it with cream cheese or butter out here because these people do not respect the schmear. They do not respect my ancestry.
I tell you what, dude, Golden Bagel and PQ is pretty good.
Okay.
It's good enough for the vice president. He went there not too long ago.
There you go.
Because I didn't realize that what do you call? I mean, obviously, like the first lady's. What is the vice president's wife's name? Like, what is she like? What is her title?
You there?
That's probably not it. That's probably not. This is why we don't get invited to the White House ever, regardless of who is in charge or who got elected.
I think it's the first vice lady.
First vice lady?
That's the only
vice
thing I can
lady?
think of.
Vice lady was this Miami Vice.
You are the first second lady. Yes,
second lady. Whatever. Whoever our vice president is married to is from Rancho Penasquitos, so like,
yes,
he's here all the time. But he went to it's a good spot, dude. Golden Bagel. I got the. I've been mixing up the bagels every once in a while. I can walk to it now. I've been mixing up the bagels, but the garlic and chive spread, schmear, delicious. Now, I am spoiled a little bit with the bagels too because my sister's college roommate and friend, they own a bagel shop in Point Pleasant. It's down the street from the Jersey Mike's headquarters. They've had it for years. And so they'll send bagels sometimes. Oh, my God. Delectable. I think they can send you bagels. I got to I forget what their store's called, but they're over in Point Pleasant. It's like, it's family business. They've been doing it for years, and they got like one of the best bagel shops in New Jersey.
Nice.
So anyway, let's get to this other thing here. Today's proposal. This is what the Players Association presented from yesterday. They proposed some new things. They want to expand Major League Baseball active rosters from 26 to 28 players
I think it was
first
for the first
15 days.
First 2 weeks.
14 pitcher maximum. First 15 days of the championship season. That's a funny thing. Designed to protect player health in the lead up to and just after opening day and provide additional major league job opportunities for players coming out of spring training. Allow for placement of players on the 60-day injured list as early as the November November tender deadline, designed to open additional 40-man roster spots for clubs to utilize in their offseason, particularly to replace players with known and lengthier injury recovery timelines.
Such as like a Joe Musgrove last year. Give the Padres a chance to rectify that earlier.
Correct. So you can open up 40-man spots. Reduce the number of permissible in-season optional assignments per player from 5 to 3, designed to combat roster churn and promote full-time jobs at the major league level throughout the year. So far, I'm kind of fine with all of these.
There was one, I think, reducing the amount of options, not the options, how many times you can option a guy from 5 to 3, I think was another one.
Okay.
So, like, instead of the Padres moving David Morgan between San Diego and El Paso 5 times, they'd only be able to do it 3 times over the course of a season.
Accelerate eligibility for the Rule 5 draft and ensure Rule 5 draft will be held in 2026 in each year of the next CBA, designed to provide minor league prospects with opportunities, yada, 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 yada. Sounds good. Any qualms with that?
No.
Provide MLB service time and salary protections to pitchers who are optioned to the minors over the All-Star break and or immediately after a game where they met certain performance thresholds, designed to reduce roster manipulation and protect players, often middle relievers and spot starters who are optioned but expected to stay hot. I think that's fine.
Yeah. I don't see too much of an issue with it. Boy, we really have common ground here, or at least reasonable ground on both sides for a lockout that's going to be impending and disastrous for the sport.
I'm just saying, everything is, these are all things I guarantee the owners are going to say yes to. And as the players, I feel like the players are just going to keep asking for more and more and more, and the owners are going to be like, yeah, cool. Need that salary cap, though.
Yeah. Okay.
Need that salary cap, though. I'm okay with that. All right. We have a little bit of time left. Bold prediction for this weekend for the Padres.
Series split.
Wow. Okay. Which games are they winning? Are they beating Roki Sasaki? Which of the 4 pitchers are the Padres beating this weekend? If you're going to,
I would say tonight and Sunday.
So they beat Sasaki and Sheehan.
Sheehan's pitching.
He's
on
pitching Sunday.
Okay, last I saw last night, they didn't have an answer. So yeah, I would say they beat Sasaki and Sheehan.
Well, according to Sammy Lev last night, Sheehan's pitching Sunday. I think those are the 2 that you'd be able to beat for sure. You get a series split with the Dodgers. Oh, that's awesome. By the way, we forgot that it was a 4-game series. So if they only win 1 game this weekend, Frank, they will be below 500 because they're 1 game up. So if they only win 1, they will lose 3. The only way that they cannot leave this week. They cannot come back to Petco Park at 500. They're either going to be above or below.
Split the series, boys.
Split the series, be 1 game over.
What's your bold prediction, real quick?
My bold prediction, Padres take 3 out of 4. It's bold, is it not?
It is.
Borderline crazy. Do I think that's actually going to happen? Not really. He's Frank Marchese. I'm Braden Surprenant. We'll talk to you guys Monday.